So my apologies.
Oh,
If you
I
happen
was
to
going to
have
be
it,
put it. Oh, okay. So
yeah.
I'm doing your job tonight. Okay, I'm gonna do my job and your job as usual. All right, that's all right. That's all right. Let me see what I can do. Yeah, Derek doesn't want to do his own job. All right, that's fine. It's cool. I'll just see if I can find it what I blatantly put in the chat for him. As everyone's staring at me, going, "What's going on? Why are they not prepared? What do we pay these people for if
Take your
they're not
time.
even prepared?"
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Here it is. All right. So here's the post by Ronald Mitchell. Hot take, unpopular opinion. Trigger questions. Why do you all not judge black indies the same way y'all do Marvel and DC? As I read through some of these black indies, you know what? Why am I reading this? Why don't we simply bring in Ronald Mitchell to read his own post and explain to the fam what he meant by it? So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronald Mitchell.
Hello. I don't know if y'all can see me, but hello, how you doing?
What's up, man?
And how's it going? Nice
Good.
to see you. Nice to meet you, Rich, Phil, Angel, Derek, Paul. Nice to meet you all.
What's up? So you made this post. Let's bring the post back up.
I got it now, Paul.
Y'all want me to read the whole thing or just get into kind of why I made it?
Oh, let's I guess I was
I
the one.
got you covered, Paul. I got you covered, Paul.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
I brought it up in one. Let's see.
Ronald, why don't you read this post to us and then we can talk about it?
All right, you already read. Let's see the question.
I'll just start from the beginning. No one wants to hear my voice. They want to hear yours. Go ahead.
All right. Hot take, unpopular opinion, trigger questions, I guess. That was kind of my thought when I made that. Why do you all not judge black indies the same way you all do Marvel and DC? As I read through some of these black indies, I'm noticing more and more issues. Everything ranging from font issues, pacing problems, art issues, and structural problems story-wise. There seems to be a lack of honesty about the quality of the actual stories. There's a difference between being a hater and being critical. It feels like in the blacks, let me make sure I can see it. It feels like in the comic space, we only want to be critical when dealing with the big two, but never with our own. We talk about representation and supporting our own, but if the quality isn't up to snuff, then are we really being represented? Real critique points out the good, if any, the bad, if any, and tries to balance those things out. I often feel as if black comic creators don't really want honest feedback from fans. Maybe people feel as if they're not qualified or because they don't make comics, they shouldn't speak. In that regards, we don't make music or movies, but I should have put R, sorry about that, still critical anyway. Lastly, how does the black comic space get better if it only wants to hear praise? We have to offer critique to the level that we say they can reach. Raise the bar, not lower it. I mean, it is what it says. I mean, there should be no reason why, as a consumer, we buy a product and we can't offer critique for it. Nobody who is in this chat had nobody has never. There is nobody who is listening to this that has never bought a product that they've ever had anything good or bad to say about it. Why would Black Indies be any different? Before I'm a black comic fan, I am a comic book fan. If I can judge Marvel, DC, and we say that Black Indies are to that level, they are suitable replacements, then your critique has to equal the same level of praise on that level. Like, that's what I mean by that. But a lot of people took offense to it. But why? That doesn't make sense. Like, you should be able to be critical of the thing that you're purchasing. So,
and NBA Live Pro agrees with everything you said.
Oh, appreciate it. Generation Geek, when they do reviews, they cover font, the paper. And so to his question, some of the reviews, like I've posted reviews that I've done of Concrete Comics. Like Luna is the longest one. I would do more reviews, but I got to future proof my workstation so that I can properly run the Adobe Creative Suite, because I actually know how to use Premiere and stuff like that, but I can't run it on my current setup. But like just the video that I did with Luna, it's 22 minutes long. The initial cut was 35 minutes long. And I took out where it was like, okay, there's a missing comma here. This is missing, because I'm like, okay, this becomes nitpicking. Let me focus on the more major issues. Let me focus and make a list. And it was still 22 minutes. And I tried to do videos to go in and show people what I'm talking about. Because if we're speaking like this, people be like, oh man, you a hater, yada, yada, yada. Okay, what do you say when we go in that book and I point these things out and they're visible? They're now right in front of you, you know, and I guess people didn't understand it like that.
Can I say something, Brother Ronald?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not one to be quiet. So I'm going to say this, you know, there was nothing wrong with what you said today. To not be able to critique something, especially something that you're spending money on. Money on is the most ridiculous notion on the planet. If you're in this business, or if you're in any type of business and you can't take constructive criticism, then you have no business being in business. I don't care how people take it. I don't care how people's feelings are about it. It's just the truth. Now, here's the thing. We don't all have to agree. And just because you don't like something, or it just may not be for you. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking, you know, for me, for instance, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't take criticism, if I didn't listen to critics, if I didn't listen to other people's advice. There's people who have told me things that I may not agree with, but sometimes I have to take a step back and sit back and say, you know what? This brother, this sister was right. You know what I mean? But I think also sometimes you got to also look at the intent. There's some people who just don't like anything and are going to always have something negative to say or whatever. And you know what? That is fine. But I feel like at the end of the day, you need to be able to make these critiques. If let me say this, if somebody can't critique your work, then you have other issues to worry about as a man besides for your work. Your work is the last part of your particular problems, because growing up, you learn how to take these particular things. I do think that sometimes some people are intentionally harsh for whatever reasons, and that's a whole nother particular category. But at the same time, the internet, and I'm gonna go on a tangent and whatever, you know, the internet has made it easy for people to now publish their work or to create these particular pieces of work. So what happens is that now we have to sift through different pieces to actually get to where we want. It's no different than in the music industry or anything else. But also, don't let certain critiques discourage you from continuing to do your art.
Absolutely.
You have to take the good with the bad, and you have to be able to use that as a tool, as a stepping stone to get to where you need to be at. But people are all upset because people got opinions. We'll give your book away for free if you don't want an opinion. But if you want me to pay $4 or $5, I need to be able to say, man, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna get the next issue. And that's not a black indie issue. That's not an indie issue. That's just
a comic issue. That's an anything issue.
It's a comic issue.
Yeah.
It's an anything issue.
How do you make the distinction between critiquing and being critical?
I probably use those words interchangeably, but that's why I said I try to do videos like for the things that I feel that were wrong. I try to do a video so you can see it.
Do you see the distinction between a critique and being critical?
I probably can't think of it right offhand. Like, let me think of it.
So I feel like there is a difference between being a critique and critical. I could sit. So for instance, I can say this because we had this conversation. I was in LA with Sean Martinborough, and we talk about this in my movie Collections in Black, by the way. There's a point where some young ladies that came up to him and wanted him to give them a critique of their portfolio, of their work, right? This is a vetted artist who's been in the business for decades, actually. And so what happens is I witnessed him giving a very good analysis of their work. There was nothing mean. There was nothing mean-spirited. And if you're asking somebody who is a seasoned vet, what can I do to be better at what I'm doing, and they tell you, and you can't handle it, and you're like so upset. It's almost like the generation that is in this in our culture right now. They can't take criticism. You don't have to be mean spirited in your criticism, but it's okay. I mean, I could read a book and say, man, I don't know, this particular book just isn't for me, and that's okay. And I don't want to do all the talking, but
that's kind of what I mean by when I say there's a difference between doing a critique and being critical. Doing a critique is being done from a position of, I'm trying to help you get better. I'm trying to be constructive.
And I think that's the part that I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, that I was having a little bit of trouble explaining, and I apologize for that.
And being critical can be from a spot of being mean-spirited or having an agenda or having a particular purpose that is not constructive. And I think that's the distinction that has to be made between the two. And that's not necessarily always easy for people to do. It really comes from a matter of, where are you coming from? Where's your heart in all of this? Because to understand, in this era that we have now, there's a lot of people that are trolls.
Absolutely.
And those trolls, and we all see them. They're the people that criticize everything. They're the people that find fault with literally everything. But when you pull them on it and you say, hey, I understand what you don't like, but what do you like?
Yeah. And I think that's like? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's on your pull list, as Richard likes to ask?
And I think that's why in that post I said, like, maybe I shouldn't. I think I did say real critique. Is saying what you did bad and what you did good, and balancing those two things out. Like I said, if you're just pointing out negative stuff, then you clearly have an agenda. But if you can go in and say, this is what I think you did wrong, but here's something that you did right, you're offering critique. And I think you guys explained it a little bit better than I could just right in that moment. But that was kind of my thought process on that.
I like this comment here by Kit Cloud Clicker. I think this is kind of the point I was trying to make. Critique means you are evaluating the good and bad overall. A critique is a detailed evaluation. Being critical means finding fault.
Facts.
There's a difference. You're just purposely trying to find fault with something.
And I think that's why, if you've ever seen the 2 or 3 videos that I did, well, definitely 2, that's why I did the video and I went in the story so that you guys could literally see, okay, this is what he's actually talking about. This is why he said this is what would make sense for what he's saying. And like you said, just trying to be detailed so that you don't think I'm just being negative, but so you can see it. Like being in court and presenting evidence. When you listen to movie reviews, they tend to put up on screen what they found wrong with it. YouTube channel, Honest Movie Trailers. If you ever watch what they do, when they talked about Avatar, The Last Airbender, the live action, and they said there's whole scenes where they're just staring blankly. I mean, satirically, they put it up on the screen and you see it. They are sitting there staring blankly. So you can't say they're hating, like they're literally pulling it up. You can't say it because it's right here, and that's what this person, that's being detailed. I'm not trying to be mean, just being detailed, and we should be able to be that, but some people didn't take it that way.
Oh, let me just say this one thing, Phil.
Go ahead, brother.
The important thing on all this for me in our space, because in Black Comic Lords, part of why we exist is to throw shine on and elevate Black comic creators, because they're the most marginalized group of comic creators that are out there. Right. And we want to try and rectify that by balancing that out, by giving them a space where they can get their shine on and bring light to the work they're doing. But we want to more focus on the good ones, right? We want to focus on the people that have quality. And there's a quality control thing there. But the thing is, what I will say, Ronald, there's a difference between you coming to a space like ours to make that type of post and you going to an entirely different audience. And what we usually say is there's certain things we don't discuss in mixed company, right? It's not like you had this in like a generalized comic book. Hey, black indie comics need to get better or something. Made some comment like that in a wider space where it's not just us. This is us talking to each other about this issue, which I thought, is important. It's
If,
important. But go ahead, Phil.
for me, my whole thing is that it's just like, so when I initially read it, so I made a response before I went back and read everybody else's, because I like to make my own response without going back and catering it to what everybody else is saying. When I read it, I didn't see an issue in it, and I don't think he said anything that we haven't been saying. But it's crazy because when certain people say certain things, the response is different than if somebody else says it. And there was nothing wrong with what he said. All he said was everybody needs to be held accountable and held to the same standards. Yes, there are people who are beginning. Yes, there is. But guess what? If you're just beginning, then maybe you're not ready to make a comment, cuz maybe you could just, you do your stuff until you're ready to go. And for somebody saying, well, Phil, that's mean, I'm like, no, I DJ. I couldn't go out and go out there and start rocking parties until, I did pretty much get the okay, or people, okay, he killed it, he did this. And I take criticism from people, and shit, I won the Achievement Award 2 years ago. I won the Best DJ Award a year ago in my city. But guess what? I took a lot of criticism, and anybody think I'm just talking, go look it up. I've taken criticism in all of those endeavors. And what I would do is I would sit back, somebody could sit back and say, man, I don't think you killed it tonight, man. I think you could have did a little bit better. Now I can sit back and get mad. Some people just be talking crazy, but I can also sit back and say, okay, you know what? Maybe I should do this like this. Maybe I can do this like this. And you have to be built to take criticism just as an adult. Like, it's just, we're too old to not be able to take criticism. You take criticism on your job, you take criticism at home, and it's just the way we deal with things. If you want people to take you seriously, you have to be able to take the good and the bad. And that's just the truth. It's just being an adult at this particular point. It's not even just
and if
keeping
we
it
can't
100.
be honest with ourselves, with our own people, with products that we make, who can we be honest with? That some of the people's responses on this post made no sense to me whatsoever. And a lot of people wanted to make it a budgetary issue. We don't have the resources. We don't have the editors. I had tremendous respect for the people that got in. There was one guy who said, I've been in this scene since the 90s. The tools needed to tell a better narrative are free. There are people in that post that said storytelling tools are not hidden behind paywalls. Like Paul said, you don't have to just get up and go do the research. Listen, there's no reason why we don't have a black writer that's on par with Alan Moore, that's on par with Brian Michael Bendis, or an artist that's on par with Alex Ross. We can get to that level. But I'm willing to bet someone's like, why you want to compare us to these white men? They're the bar.
Well, so here's the thing. I got you. Because now he lost me. You lost me because I'm gonna tell you this. We have that already. So that I feel what you're saying.
And I may not know that, but I'm willing.
I know you're saying. I feel you on the roll. I get it, but we got the still freezes and things of that nature when it comes to the artists who are on that particular level. I feel what you're saying, but I also, I want you to, we're gonna dial it back a little bit before we get a little bit too far here, because we do have some great African American writers and artists who can compete with the best of them. When there was a time when some of your favorite artists, you didn't even know that they were black because of the way that the artwork and stuff was shipped, was sent to them. So that's a whole nother conversation within itself. So I would rephrase that and say artists on the indie level getting to the major level, but it's talent.
Yeah, that would be the way. But at the end of the day, I just want to see us get better.
Hold on. Pause. I can't have people call me out by name and not respond.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I ain't in that one. I
So
don't
here's
know
the thing.
on there.
No, this is a good point. This is a good point. Frustrated says, well, Paul, what was that you did in regards to John Ridley? Because you started out being critiquing, but then you became critical by not wanting to say his name on the platform. Well, frustrated, as you very well know, because you've seen me have these discussions before. I did an extensive critique of his work. And in that critique, I saw that it went simply beyond um, doing bad writing to the point where there was an agenda involved in his writing. So that takes you out of the realm of I'm critiquing his work and me having beef with a dude who clearly had an agenda in his writing that I did not agree with. So that's a big difference. I was being critical because it wasn't simply about the art or creativity of what he was doing. It had to do with the agenda behind the writing. And yes, I stand on that square. So I don't have any problems with that because I think Amani said the same point. All right, but
Hold
let's
on.
not get me.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in because
Hold on,
I've been quiet.
before you jump in, we have to. Someone's been waiting to talk about this subject, and that person is Lonzo Starr.
Yo. What's going on, y'all?
Concrete Comics.
How we doing, everybody?
He was next up.
Ah,
He was next up. Lonzo,
Interesting conversation here.
you've been listening in the conversation.
Mhm.
I think you even made some post on Ronald's original post.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Ronald mentioned that he did a review of Luna, mentioned Concrete specifically.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
what's your take on this discussion?
So it's a very layered subject, right? I have the benefit of being on both sides of the field. I critique, I judge, I oversee many titles. I help out a lot of people in the community. So I don't see there was nothing wrong with what he said in the post. Everybody is subject to being critiqued. You know what I'm saying? But the problem with a post such as that is the people that it empowers. It's the message. With the message like that, it's like such a blanketing statement of the overall black indie scene that somebody that's not even real versed in what indie black comics is will see a post like that and instantly put all of us to the side. Like, nah, if they're not up to par, this guy, Ronald saying it, he knows what he's talking about. We're just going to not even check this out. And there's a lot of people that will just take that and run with it versus being specific with what you're either. If I was to, start doing critiques, I may be specific with the title. You know what I mean? Say exactly what I'm talking about versus the blanket statement of indie black comics need to get better, because there's tons of indie black comics that are on the level of these guys that you mentioned earlier that are up there. There's people that are killing it and been killing it for years, but we don't get that same benefit of the doubt because we get blanketed in with everything under the sun that is indie black comics, and that's where it's a little bit unfair for up and coming cats. Us in particular, Concrete Comics, when we were first coming out about 5 years ago, we were under all kinds of criticism and scrutiny. People were jabbing at us about everything, even the way the name is spelled. People were coming at the name. Why is Concrete spelled with a K without an E at the end? All kind of things were said. But me personally, that doesn't affect me. I'm good. I kept moving, kept pushing, kept doing what I'm doing, kept getting better. I wouldn't be who I am without critiques, right? But there's other people that don't have the backing I got, don't have the backbone I got, don't got the support system that I got, that they got all the potential in the world. In a post like that or some critique like that can obliterate them, take them out of there. Even if they keep trying, that stain on their resume is so damaging. No one's going to give them a second chance to make a book that they believe in. They're already casted out. Oh, this dude can't write. His edits is crazy. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's done. And that, so when I speak, I'm never speaking from a personal standpoint when I get on those posts and stuff like that. I'm just speaking for the other side that may not have a voice.
And I understand that, but
Richard said something he wanted
No,
to say.
no, keep it going. Keep it going.
no. You haven't spoke, so I'd like to hear from you too.
I mean,
Especially wearing that shirt.
one thing I can say is about the subject matter is that Lonzo kind of hit on it a little bit. Lonzo has a team, and a lot of guys don't have a team. It's hard to see certain things when you don't have a team. We're very critical of Marvel and DC because Marvel and DC has what they call editorial. By the time we get a comic book, that comic book shouldn't have no errors in it at all. That comic book should have passed at least 2 or 3 people before it was actually sent off to a printer to be printed. Now we know that stuff gets through, and we can readily see it. So for me, in a way, I'm kind of on the fence about it because while I want the art to be elevated, I have to also consider who's doing what and what they got to work with, because I think that matters at the same time. Now, does that mean that we grade on a curve? No, not necessarily. But what it does say is if a guy like Lonzo can go to a novice and give him pointers or whatever, I really cannot do that. I can give my opinion. I can give my perspective, and I've done that for guys. I've been offered to be an editor, but that's no cap. But the thing is, I'm a comic head, so I've been reading comics since I was 6, 7 years old. So I know comic book content, and I know when certain things. And of course, I went to English class. Okay, so it's small things. I think that we don't want to crush nobody, but I do think that there's nothing wrong with wanting the content to be elevated. But I just think that we need to consider where a particular artist or writer is in their development, because that's the other thing too. It costs a lot of bread to make money, and some people may not have the bread to bring in an editor or whatever. And also, if a guy's new or very new or doesn't have a lot of people around him or whatever, he's got to be willing to be able to trust somebody and say, "Hey, man, I want you to look at this, check this out, tell me what you really think." Everybody don't have that.
Oh yeah, no, that's a fact. And I was going to tap in with what you're saying is that trust issue is real, right? Because some people, some editors out here or critiquers were comic writers that didn't get a chance to be comic writers. So now they critique on a very hard level. And sometimes we don't understand the intent. We don't see where somebody's coming from. And we don't know, if they're being malicious with what they're saying. Now, if it's grammar issues or whatever like that, yeah, that's facts. That's obvious. Sometimes you can't really judging the issue 1 is hard because it's going somewhere. Versus you judging the number 3, you can judge 1, 2, and 3 and be like, collectively, what you were trying to do was trash. But at issue 1, you can see something building and you just break down the walls because you don't like how it's building up. But by the time you get to number 3, it could be fire. And I've seen people in the group read a whole 16-book arc of Black Panther and then judge it. They could have said it was trash at number 1, but they don't. They'll read the whole thing. And
so here's a question. Here's a question for the whole panel: is it fair to judge Black indie comics with the same standard that we judge Marvel and DC across the board? No. It's like, for example, let me give it before you answer. For example, if I go, well, look, comic book X from this Black indie comic hasn't come out in 4 months, but this Marvel comic comes out every month regularly. That's why I don't collect the Black indie comic, because I have to wait 4 months or 6 months for the next issue. Is that a fair critique to make of the Black indie comic?
Well, if I may, I'll be real quick. So my thing was, I was looking at just indie altogether. I wasn't going to the Black indie. I was looking at the independent. I feel like we could be here for 6 hours if we start breaking down different variables of, is it shipping issues? Is it this? Is it that? When I'm talking about, I'm talking about once the book's in your hand and the quality of the book and be able to critique on that particular point. Now, if you don't have the machine to put out a book monthly, or say you can't even put a book out monthly because you're juggling your job, you're juggling this, you're juggling that. Those are just totally different variables, and those are indie variables, and that's different. So you get. I think those situations you do get a pass upon, but for me, I'm not critiquing those because I don't know the behind the scenes scenarios. But I'm just talking about from critiquing. I can personally only critique the content of the book, and the one thing that I don't buy into, and I think this will be a disagreeing everybody else. I also believe in, if you're not ready to put a book out, if you don't have the talent to put a book out, then don't put it out. That's all. Then don't put it out, because you're gonna put it out and you're just gonna be disappointed. Shit, if you can't cook Thanksgiving dinner, you ain't got no business cooking Thanksgiving dinner. You know, sometimes you gotta let somebody else do it.
Let me push back on that. And the reason why I want to push back on it, because we're talking about art. And art is subjective. And here's the thing about that. How does an artist get good? The artist has to work on their craft. They have to start somewhere. And what I'm getting at is, to your point, they may feel like they're ready. And someone like Lonzo can come along and say, you know what, you need to work on this a little bit more.
For sure.
And so those are things that, we're talking about mentorship. We're talking about, partnerships. We talked about, I think me and Paul talked last week about, Marvel used to have a bullpen, what they call a bullpen. They would have artists that were on the way up or whatever, but those artists had mentors. They had people that, worked on that, helped them develop their craft. Dwayne McDuffie, when they were doing Milestone stuff, everything that came that Milestone didn't come out. It had to go by McDuffie's desk, and he would sometimes. I've heard Joe Illich say this, that he would sometimes stop the everything that was going on in the office to make a point, and to let everybody get back to work. It's things like that everybody doesn't have. And so all I'm saying is that
can I speak?
Well, hold on a second. It's 2024. We got social media. You have access to the Lonzos. You get access to Paul. You get access to Rich. Hey, before I put this book out, y'all, let me send this over to the Black Comic Lords. What do y'all think about this? There isn't any lack of community. Like, we got to stop that. Like, we're making excuses for bad material. I did a film by myself. I traveled around the country. I got 4 kids. I don't make a lot of money, but I was able to get on the planes, do what I got to do, purchase art, borrow art, talk to people on how I should do this, and I edit it. You know why my film look good? Because I know what I'm doing, and I'm good at what I do. And I sat back and I practiced my craft to do it. I didn't sit there and just put some shit together and throw it out for y'all to look at it. No, I did what I had to do. I did my due diligence. It's like with anything else, you have to do your due diligence. There are people in your community that can help you out. Hey, you know what? Let me show this to you first. Let me show this to you. Hey, I know this particular artist. Hey, can you look at this for me? This is what happens. And you shouldn't. And here's the thing: art is subjective. I may not like a particular piece of artwork, but I could look at a book and I can sit back and say, okay, this is dope. I can see why other people like it. It just may not be for me. My issue is we're making too many excuses for certain things. And once again, everything's not for everybody. I'm not trying to talk crazy about independence whatsoever. That is not what I'm doing, because I believe that we need the independence, and independence are needed. But I'm just saying, let's not make excuses. Like, you can't sit back and show.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just putting out some real facts and what certain things some people have to deal with. Listen, let me just keep it. You want me to keep it real with you?
Please.
I'll pull back the curtain. I have given 100 million different ideas,
right? And
I might see 1 or 2 of them come to pass.
Okay.
I might get somebody to like really listen or take heed to what I say. And what I'm getting at is that you can have all of the ideas in the world or whatever, but if you don't have the support system to help birth those ideas, it won't go nowhere. And all I'm saying is that a lot of these guys that we're talking about, They on the ground floor. They're not on concrete's level.
But you don't have to be.
They're not even on. They're not even. They barely trying to get one book out. Who are we talking? Here's the thing too. When we talk about black independence, who are we talking about?
But that's not. Wait, that's not. Wait. That's not the argument.
It's definitely.
Can I say something?
That's not. That's not.
Phil said a lot of what.
That's not the. One second.
Let talk, Phil.
Real quick. That's not my argument. All I'm saying is, consult with your people. There's stuff that I want to do that I can't do because I don't have the capital to do it. So I just don't do it. So I can't do it. But to sit back and say that these artists, when you're sitting back, you're drawing, everybody has a computer. Everybody's on social media. Everybody's in these groups. You can sit back and you can send your art to somebody and say, hey man, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? That's all I'm saying. I'm not critiquing whether somebody's art is good or not. I'm just saying let's not pretend like. I'm sure if somebody hit Lonzo up from concrete and say, hey man, what do you think about this art? You would give a critique on how you think the art is. Or you would sit back and say, you may want to work on this, or you may want to work on that. That's all I'm saying.
I want to add a different perspective, because I actually do logistics for comic books from all different levels, from idea to LCS. And not everybody is starting at the same starting point. When it starts from idea, you have to even know what questions to ask. It's easy to throw out, oh, you can do this, you can do that.
Right.
But there was a day one for everybody to even ask the question. So when someone pulls me in to do logistics for their comic book, I'm bringing 30 years and industry standards and all of that. But not everybody knows someone like me at all. So then they're doing guesswork. And it's a lot of guesswork. And it's a lot of trial and error. And you have to take into account demographics. You have to take into account what's even available to you. It's easy to say what you can Google on your phone. It's easy to say well, let me match my comic book to Marvel or DC or whatever. That's the easy thing, is the hindsight 2020. But when you're in it, having a guide, having the ability to even access someone that would help with wherever you're at in that whole creative process. Now, critiques is opportunity for evolution. And then being critical is, I need you to be less than what I see you right now. Those are the two different things. And sometimes they mirror each other. They're twins, but not identical. And it's hard to tell when something's precious to you and you want to bring it to life.
I see exactly what she's saying is facts, right? Because there's oftentimes in the community will tell you, man, I get a lot of people submitting to me, asking me questions, how to do this, how to do that, right? And somebody may say, yo, can you just read my comic and let me know what you think, right? Or can you give me a public review of my comic? And I pull them to the side and say, listen, bro, you know what I mean? I don't want to, if it's coming from me and I say that this book ain't good, a lot of people are going to listen and say, why would I waste my time getting that if Lonzo don't like it? So I pull them aside and say, bro, before you even go this route, let me hook you up with some editors. These are what I think you should go down the path right there, right? And it's easy to be critical of something that you can't do yourself. You know what I mean? I can do this. I've gotten awards. I've gotten this. I've taken artists and writers that have never written a comic book. Some of them have gotten awards, so they're doing what they're doing. So that's why a lot of creators are very cautious of critiques, because we don't know where you're coming from. We don't know what your credibility is, and we don't know what you're comparing us to. Luna is a brand new writer, that #1 book, and this is just behind the scenes stuff. But in the process of her coming in, we had an editor going out. So I'm finding a new editor, had to do it was so much going on at that time when she came out. We just had to condense it because she was on a deadline. We had to do what we had to do, live with what we could live with, build on
like Luna
better. You know what I'm saying?
And I want you to know, because I spoke with you, I like Luna. I have told people, huh?
Yeah, no, I was saying, you know me, I don't have no problem with no critiques. I take critiques as they are.
I like Luna. I've said Luna could be a front runner, but as somebody who, I'm not stupid, I'm very intelligent. I know how to read, I know how to write. That's why I made the video, so that people wouldn't think, oh, he's just saying stuff. No, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Just areas for improvement. My opinion, you don't have to follow it, like Phil said. The other thing is, well, actually, Phil touched on a lot of what I was going to say, kind of my thought process. You can do your research. Yeah, everybody has a day one, but it would be one thing if I was just saying that and I had no basis. But when you go into that post, you see people that say, I've been in this scene. You can go and research those materials to tell a narrative. A indie creator talked to me this morning in IM. He said, there's too many people that watch Black Panther that wanted to get into this, and they don't know how to tell a story. They don't know how to do a beginning, middle, and end. That's the 3-act structure. When you learn photography, when you learn art, graphic design, I went to the Art Institute, I went to Clover Park Technical College. We all learn at least one rule that is the same unilaterally. That's the rule of thirds. That's a basic. There are people that do not know the basics. When I'm saying Black Indies, I've read a few, probably not as many as Paul or Rich, but I've read enough of a sample size to say, this one is good, this one is bad, and separate how they phrase it, the wheat from the chaff, and tell you why I did not like this. This one is good. And point out and show this is why. Like, so it's not just, as some people assume in the chat, I'm just some dude on the internet just being harsh, being mean. No, I want to see it get better. I love comics. I want to see Black Indies be better. I've read some good ones. Diary of Stray Dogs is one of the best ones that I've read. And when I read it, I was like, wow, this doesn't feel like a Black comic. This feels like a comic that has a strong Black, that has a lead that is the strong lead that happens to be Black.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I don't.
Well, let me ask a question. When you did, for example, your review on Luna, were you asked to do that?
No, I just decided to do it.
Okay, so
and anybody could go do a review. Nobody's like asked Keith Lee, were you asked to go do restaurant reviews? He just decided to do them. He wanted to highlight these restaurants.
Here's where I go back to the question of the difference between, or the fine line between, doing a critique and being critical. If you're doing it from a perspective of I like this book and I want it to get better, why not simply reach out to the creator directly and say, hey, I read your book and here's some things I thought were good, here's some things that I thought were bad, here's some things that can make it better. Instead of putting it on social media for everyone else to read. And this is the point that I think Lonzo was making, is if you have a nascent book, a brand new book, new creator, this is the first book they've put out. They've made some mistakes, but they're really hoping that it's going to take off. One bad review on social media by someone who's prominent can really crush that person's, ego. Phil says you got to have a thick skin. You should, but creatives can sometimes be sensitive about their stuff. But more so, even from an emotional standpoint, from a business standpoint, if you're a social media influencer, and you say you've got 1 million followers or something like that, and you put out a critique that says this book is trash and here's the reasons why, it's just my opinion. You may end up destroying this person's career before it even gets started. This is where we go back to, in my opinion, the critical versus critiquing. Because if you're doing it for the purposes of, I want to try to help this particular artist out and help them get better because I think they've got something here that could be good, you could always just kind of contact them directly. As Phil said, we got social media. You can DM anybody. You can email anybody and give your opinions. And if they choose to reject it, then the next issue that comes out, you can go ahead and roast them.
Yeah, because just to speak on that, that's one of the issues I got is that in the Black community, in every medium, is so much emphasis on the bad, right? And there's no reason why stories like Crescent City Monsters isn't a topic every week. That story is fire, but I don't hear nobody boosting it or going crazy. I don't hear nobody talking about Is Nana as much as they should. I don't hear that stuff, but let a comma or a period be missing. That's getting a review. You know what I'm saying? Where's the reviews of those books? Where's the hype for the content that is really pushing, the culture, right? And it's just too much. It's too much hype for the negative. Like as soon as you see something that's not up to quality, let me post about it. Let me demonize the whole culture. Let's get them out of here. But then Newton get a couple, 3 or 4 likes on a post. And that's it. Like it doesn't make sense.
But where did I say that Luna was bad?
No, I'm not saying
no,
about
because
Luna.
Paul keeps we focus on the negative. If you watch my review, I say what I liked, what I didn't like. I'm a fan. Regardless, I should be able to do that. Anybody should be able to take a book and give their opinion of it. Let me ask you, if your book gets reviewed by IGN, do they send you a copy of the review first before anybody else? No,
what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about Luna, bro. I didn't mention that.
No, but that's what Paul brought up. So that's the example that
Ronald, I was using that as a generalized example. I've never read your review of Luna. I don't know what you said. Yeah. I wasn't talking about your review specifically. I was talking about the process and the intent behind what you're doing. If the intent is, I wish to help this writer out and help this creator out to do a better product, so I'm going to contact them directly. You could do it that way.
Or I could just post it and just say, these were my thoughts. That's just what that was. That was my thought.
Share your thoughts in social media.
A lot of people don't, but they do. Why I would ask?
And there's motivations behind why you do that, right?
Hey, because I like the book. This is what I thought was bad.
This is not me pointing a picture. This is not me pointing a finger at you. This is not that at all. No, let me finish.
Yellow card. Time out.
Stop, Herschel. Stop. This is not me. This is not me pointing the finger at you. I'm not calling you out at all. So please don't interpret it that way. I was only bringing up the point of making the distinction between being critical and being and making a criticism. And there's a fine line, because there are some people that could be like, hey, you know what? I just want to see the world burn. And so I'm just going to criticize every creator that I come across.
But I don't have any control over that. And that's like what Shannon Sharp says. I can only control what I can control. Yeah. People are going to make reviews. I don't get to say how that person feels. But I always try to be, and I know you're not trying to demonize me, but
I'm not at all.
Yeah. But I can't control how that person feels. All I can say is what I felt about the book. Give the parts that I felt just were my opinion and what I felt was wrong with the story, what they did right. I only use Luna as an example because some of the first Black indies I bought were concrete comics. Mm-hmm. So that's why I did those. So I'm not singling you out, Lonzo. Yours were just some of the first that I bought.
Hey, bro, listen, man. I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying?
And then there were people that you all don't realize that are in the indie space that said, you should tag Lonzo in that. But I was like, no, I just want people to be able to read it, or not read it, but watch it, see what I say, and then you go read it, formulate your own opinion. Maybe you see some things that I didn't see. Maybe I saw some things you didn't see. And I believe I even said that in that video. Look,
but that's
I want to see the world burn. I don't need to do a 22-minute review to do that. I could do that in 30 seconds just by saying, fuck all this shit. But I took the time, and I even had a list, but I was like, okay, like Lonzo said, if you want to point out every comma, I'm not fixing it. I'll let grammatical errors like that slide. As I told people in that post, as long as it don't break the story, I let it slide, because those things happen. But I want to focus more on just story mechanics. That was one of the things my mother taught me early on, was how to write. So that's something that I do focus on. As far as motivation, just because I wanted to do it, I wanted to contribute something to the page. Herschel has talked about it many times. It's like there's a lot of people that don't contribute. That was just one way I felt that I could.
I feel like we're losing focus on this point, because I know somebody else was fixing to talk. The question was simple for me, and it made a lot of sense on both sides. It says, why do you all not judge Black indies the same way y'all do Marvel and DC? I know I came on late, but I never saw anybody respond to that exact question. Now, he did elaborate and went on to some different points, but can somebody here, and I'm not holding a gun to nobody's head, but can somebody here answer the question for the audience?
Okay, so let me say why I asked that first. Because in various posts in the comments, I've seen people say, well, we need to, leave the big two alone and just support indies. Well, okay, that means you're saying in your own way, you are a suitable replacement for those two. But as I've read some indies, not all, but some, and enough of a sample size, I'm like, no, just, you don't even have to believe me. You could go and read them. And if you read them objectively, like, these stories are broken. Now, I talked to Herschel, earlier today, and I'm not going to name no names because I don't want people to feel like we're pointing guns at them. I only mentioned like Luna just because that's a public review and I did that. But like, that's where that question was birthed out of. I've seen people say, leave the big two alone, come with us. I'm like, so you want to replace them in somebody's pull list, they reading list. So you have to be able to take what comes with that. If you want to be in the 1 and 2 spot, you got to be able to take what comes with 1 and 2.
So my main thing with that, right, is that you'll take somebody like let's just take Tuskegee Airs for instance, right? And the automatic comparing to that is Marvel DC. But then you take a pretty white company like Arctic Press. They don't have to worry about those comparisons. People just read them because they read them. The comics. They don't never say Arctic Press or Marvel and DC. They don't ever say these other white notable publishers and compare them all the way up. But you take me, I got to go against Blade. I got to go against Black Panther. I got to go against Green Lantern. Like, it's just like, why is my bar like you're either there or you're not worth me buying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me when I think about it like that, because that's what it feels like for most Black indie creators. And I'm not speaking for me in particular. I'm speaking for the cat that's just by himself, making a comic, got the money up, putting it out there. He gets judged by the highest scale possible and then destroyed.
So that's the same question to you, Lonzo. Again, is it fair to judge a Black indie comic by the same standards and criteria as you judge Marvel and DC?
It depends on what their backing is. If that indie Black creator is on Image, if you're talking about Sanford Green, yeah, he has the machine behind him.
So there's layers to the current independent.
You can't take a local rapper and compare him to Meek Mills in Philly. You can't do the two. He don't have the resources and power that Meek Mill has versus this guy from South Philly. He was fire, but he don't have the music videos that can compare with that. He don't got the stuff to compete on that level.
But he still wants your dollar. You know
what? Wait, hold on. So everybody seems to be missing the decades of existence. You're talking about DC Comics that was created in 1934. Marvel Comics was created in 1939. You're talking about billions of dollars. They put out whatever they want. And then you're talking about a guy or woman that's in their house publishing a comic book and self-research and self-this and self-that, and miraculously it's supposed to be on the same par. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I know what it is to make a comic book. That's crazy.
I've been in various posts and seen people basically say you should leave these big two and come with me. But for the very reasons that Angel said, if you're doing all that, you're not on that level. So you can't ask somebody to replace those two with you. But if you want to be in that spot, you have to take what comes with it.
But
you should know that going into it.
Those things are marketing tactics, though. Somebody's saying that to market, to get you to give them a chance. They're not. I don't think somebody really thinks they can replace, like Angel said, 100 years of content. How can I do that?
Find a different way to market. But if that's what you want to do,
that's not even reality. No, sir. No.
You can't find another way to market.
Hold on.
Sir, no.
If I compare myself to the best, I'm not supposed to take any of the the problems that come with it, but I can take all the praise that comes with that.
What praise though?
Let me say something. Let me say
That's
something.
kind of my thought process. Like,
Yeah,
where do you
say something.
you
Let
go
me
that
just make a
if you
comment.
say I'm better or I'm equal to the best, but you can't take any critique that's on that same level? You can't take any of that. You're not supposed
That's
to.
not even the conversation. Because I'm going by what
it's
I'm
been brought up in that post,
that
and I just kept reiterating the same thing to people.
Let me just
when someone is an indie comic and they're asking for your support, that support does include critiques, which again I said is opportunities of evolution. But when you're critical, you're talking about seed and seedlings of a book or story, and that's where there's a difference in, okay, well, Marvel and DC did this, and this. People will get there. They all get there. If they're passionate about it and they stick to it, it does eventually become on par. A lot of comics have. But if somebody's asking you to support from the beginning, you have to have a level of understanding where they're at compared to where they're going. And that's all I think most creators are even asking of their audience.
Can I say something? I just want to say, I'll be
Hold
very
on.
brief.
Richard had something he wanted to say.
Oh, go ahead, Rich. My fault.
Richard mad as hell too. You say,
no, I was just going to say that, you know, I've made the commentary that Marvel and DC are not the only game in town. Right. And ultimately what I was saying when I said that was to let people know that you don't have to get your books, you don't have to get your art from just Marvel and DC. You can go to Concrete. You can go to Advent. You can go to other places. They're you know, at this point, DC and Marvel is Walmart. You can go to your local store and get quality. Here's the thing, though. And to answer Paul's question, no, it's not a fair assessment. Or you can't judge a independent to a behemoth that's been in the business 100 years, that has, you know, fan bases that run generations. And a guy just started 5 years ago. That ain't even, why are we even trying to have that conversation? Here's the deal. If you buy a comic book and you spend your money, you have a right to comment on if this book is good or not. Here's the thing. I'll pull back the curtain. I made a post one day and I wound up taking it down because I was upset at a creator who sent me a comic book in an envelope. In an envelope, not a Gemini shipper.
That was pretty bad. That was
a regular envelope. That thing was folded.
Terrible.
Like dollar bill.
Terrible.
I was hot. Herschel called me, said, "Rich, you got to take that down." Because I made the commentary. This is what I said. I made the commentary. I said, this is why some people don't support independent, black independent. I said what I said. I was wrong, and I apologize for it. But at the time, you couldn't tell me nothing.
You wasn't wrong.
Because I had spent my money, got this book in the mail. Bro, I was moved. It didn't even it wasn't even a bag. It literally was in a manila envelope stuck in there. He put a piece of tape around it and shipped it to me.
It was bad.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Now, that was inexcusable in terms of if you're in this business or whatever, and you want to get your books to your customers or whatever, then you have to use a little care. That's something that you have to know in the business. Now, a guy who is coming and he's doing the best he can. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out story. He's trying to figure out pacing. He's trying to figure out how to move the story along. How does the art go with the words? What is my lettering like? Those kind of things. He's got to learn that, whether he talks to one people or get it off the internet. Now, Black Comic Lords, and I'll just use us as an example. Black Comic Lords started with me and Herschel just sitting on Sunday nights talking noise. We're not that no more, though. And we got hella criticism. Y'all not doing this. Y'all not doing that. Y'all not doing this. Y'all not doing that. Y'all don't have this. Y'all don't have that. We still get criticism.
I was about to say, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that past tense?
But guess what? We still doing
We
it.
get
And here's the
criticism from people
thing:
that
if I had to compare myself to other podcasters that do this, I might not measure up. I might be on the bottom level or whatever. But that don't stop me from wanting to get up on Sunday afternoons or whatever and talk with the people and hang out with and talk to people like DJ Big Phil and whomever. The thing is, everything is relative. The artists and the writers that are in this space that are trying to do this professionally, that are starting out, they need a scholarship sometimes.
Hey, hold on.
That's the truth. That's keeping it real. They need help. And to act like they can just go to the internet and get help, that's crazy.
Richard,
you have to know the question.
Richard, to your point, I want your comment on this post from Jay. He says mixtapes and EPs are not the same just because they both cost money. I think that's a very interesting analogy.
I like that analogy. I would simply say that with a mixtape, you're not. First of all, most time it ain't your music; it's somebody else's music.
Yeah.
So with an EP, the music might be your music, but you're not putting out no more than maybe 5 or 6, 8 songs, or whatever. Mixtape could be 20 songs.
Right.
So it's all about. I think that when it comes to the independent Black comic book community and what we like and what we want. We all want dope stories. We all want dope art. Everybody's not on the same level. Lonzo at Concrete, he's got stellar art. Listen, let me just talk about Acolyte real quick. Acolyte's a dope character.
Rich, you got 2 minutes, man. You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Bro, I've been quiet all night. Acolyte is a dope character. I love that character. I love that story. I like his swag. I like everything about that character. I like his color design, everything. Right? And so if I bring Acolyte up to say someone and say, hey, man, you ought to check out he doper than Blue Marble, they'll look at me like I'm crazy. Like, the proof is in the pudding. For real.
Hey, but you know what, though, Rich? Let me can I say something real quick? Y'all know me. I don't care. Let me say something. You got to be able to take a critique. I don't care what nobody says. We can do all these variables and all this stuff. If you can't take a critique or something, it just is what it is. And y'all critique books every time y'all come on this show. Period, point blank. And you have to be able to take a critique. And listen, everybody's not on the same page, and that's fine. But you can't expect to get the same rewards. And my whole thing is, at the end of the day,
super chat.
If you jumping in, I had a super. And you know what? Too, I had a super chat before this, guys. And y'all ain't do my super chat.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I'm not with that, man. No, man. My money good too. My money good too. I dropped money in her first. The hell? So much. I need a clip. I need something. Man, where you at, Wizard?
Okay, Phil. This
I
is
ain't gonna lie.
Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black people.
And I was gonna say, I ain't gonna lie, man. Paul and Herschel have been at the random messages for me, trying to curate just try to bring in some of the dopest or bring awareness to some of the dopest creators out here that are in the indie Black community, not even just indie Blacks, the indie whites, whatever they are. I'm always trying to put them on like, yo, this dude's dope. I was on Mike Watson, like, yo, you got to get in here, man. They need you in here. They need Hot Shot. Get in here. Midnight, whoever it is, I'm always advocating for the bar of who we are, because there's a lot of people that aren't ready, but they get the light with bad critiques, and then it overshadows all of it. So I'm always trying. I want
to say this part. Partially, some of those people who might see, like, first of all, I want to say I thought it was a great question to ask. We all know if the best way to communicate with these creators is to go online and just tell them, DM and say, man, I like this, I don't like that. This is a new world. It's 21st century. It's how we kind of operate. There is a code, unwritten rule out there that if you see a Black creative, you don't publicly go on a forum and tear his book down. We will, but John Ridley, I've even seen people go after Priest. All those guys that are under the white companies, they're free game. And that's weird, but we're going to have to work through that. We're going to have to work through that.
You know what? Can we edit that out the show?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, yo. What is wrong with Herschel?
This is what happens. What happens when you let Herschel in on a lie?
But did I lie?
Don't edit button.
Man, get Herschel. Hey, listen, Herschel, man.
Because we went out there. Listen, God forbid I go and start working for Marvel. I'm not talking about the guys on this video. I'm talking about the community. God forbid I go work for Marvel and Storm breaks a nail. Niggas would come after me like white on rice. But then if I step down and do a fan fiction,
come on, man,
independent comic,
be the greatest shit ever
about me, because you should be uplifting your brother, or you'll get called certain names that we hate to call each other in the community. So it is a weird. To Lonzo's point, I get it. To Ron's point, I get that too. Because guess what? If most people who don't want to hear the critiques, they're satisfied with their sales. They're satisfied with their numbers. Marvel they're willing to die on the hill. They are willing to double down the hill right now. We see that day in and day out. But the little guys, the smaller guys, independent guys, to Alonso's point, that does affect us all. But I think the question, the top question was still appropriate. So I'm gonna stand by that. I'm the one who approved that. So if anybody want to come and attack, I'll take some critiques.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with the question. Here's the thing about the question. I think that it's two conversations though. And again, we're talking about Marvel and DC. We're talking about a company that's got a machine behind them that has something called Marvel Editorial, DC Editorial. These guys, this is what they do. And the people that work in the editorial, they're your Dwayne McDuffies. These are pros. These are not novices or whatever that's doing this kind of stuff and seeing this kind of stuff come through. Because trust and believe, I trash a lot of books. You know that, Herschel. But I also pick up a lot of books too. And the thing is, I tell people, tell a dope story, give me some fire art, and I'm good. That's it. But when I see stuff that's just out of line. Now a comma or whatever is not going to disturb me. But I can understand, grammar is a part of this art form as well. I get it. Grew up reading comic books, whatever. You learned vocabulary. Vocabulary is almost non-existent these days. But that's the times we're in. And again, I could point fingers at everything and say, hey, that's not good. That's not good. But then I become the old man on the yard. Get off my lawn when I have that perspective as well. So I have to also offer some grace in the middle of anything that I do, even when it comes to critiques.
Go ahead, all right.
And I'm sure
we have another special guest. Mr. Jeffrey Thorne popped in. He says, "Put me in, coach." Put me in.
It's like Hollywood Squares.
You get a job. You get a job. You get a job.
No, I just want to say, I started out in indie books back in the day, before possibly, depending on how old some of these younger ones are, but possibly before they were born. And what I noticed when I would go out to conventions with my bag and my props and my table and all that, there were bunches of other brothers and sisters out there, Latin brothers and sisters, Arab brothers and sisters, and the people who look like us walk right by us. And I was a carnival barker. I'll be literally standing on my table, like, you need to come over here. And the guy doing the art for me is the guy who created freaking Eyes of Wakanda. So it wasn't like the art wasn't tight. Okay. And this is before I blew up or whatever, but you can tell since I did blow up, probably the writing was good too. Right. But they wouldn't even check. Right. And then a couple of white people will be clustered around the table once in a while. And all of a sudden we get a flock of black people will show up. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that that's a right thing or a wrong thing, but it is a phenomenon that can be observed. Okay. 1 second.
Mhm.
And then it's both depressing and heartening to see this conversation now, because it seems like a lot of the same conditions are happening. But as has been pointed out, the young guns have the internet. You are able to connect with each other in a completely different way than was available to us.
Come on now. Come on now.
People put so much heart and break their fortunes trying to put books out that when I mention them now, people are like, I didn't even heard of that. And I'm like, that book was the shit, but you didn't pick it up because everybody at the table had dreads, or their hair was in a bun, or they wore a t-shirt. My wife's yelling at me. Let me close this door. Oh.
That's real. That's real.
Okay. So like,
I probably gotta leave in like 10-15 minutes, man.
This thing about trust, it's real though, because it is a hard life to get into, whatever level of entertainment, whether it's music or acting or any of that stuff. Because as soon as you step in that arena, the knives come out. And I'm not even talking about critics. I'm talking about the regular fans, right? People who call themselves fans. They come hard at you because you dared to step into the arena. So all of those creators build up a hard shell. They have to, right? So that means that their response to critique is going to be pushback, not acceptance. Because when they go out in that arena, everyone in the audience is not just booing them, they're throwing chairs and shit, right? And it's like, man, I just try to put out my little book. Why are you throwing chairs at me, right? Maybe it sucks. Maybe it wasn't the best thing, but you're coming at me like I tried to shoot your mom in the face. Like, can I get something? And then on the other side of that, there would be books that the only thing that they had to sell them was blackety blackness. And I'm like, you didn't learn how to tell a story, brother. This book sucks. Sorry about it.
Yeah,
you know,
that is a valid point.
Like you,
I've seen that
I'm
also.
a writer like you, and that book sucks, right? So what you need to start to develop is the ability backstage for someone like Phil, right? If he's got the time and the inclination to go, okay, look, I have no axe to grind. Doesn't help me or hurt me if you get successful. But here are some things you might want to check out before you put this on wax and before you put this in the street. Okay, you don't have to listen. You can get mad, but you get mad backstage. You don't get mad in public at the people who are going to come at you, because those people are going to come at you. People came at me over Green Lantern. Fuck them. People came at me over X4. Fuck them.
This video is demonetized.
Okay.
Let's go.
They don't matter.
That's my Jefferson Owens, my man right
Actually
there.
buying your book. All that matters is who's buying it. Critics are talking to the audience. They're saying, here's what I felt when I read this book. Here are the things I thought were right with it. Here are the things that are wrong with it. But the critic is 6 months behind you, right? If your book by the time your book's on the street, you're 4 months down the line.
Yeah,
you've already written the next.
So whatever the critic has to say, even if you wanted to implement it, you can't.
Right.
So the critic may make a million valid points, but you can't do jack about it. Okay. The critic is talking to the audience and maybe giving you a road mark for, okay, well, he's making me mad. She's making me mad. I didn't feel like that. But these 9,000 other people, they kind of agreed. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
Right? One critic, meaningless. 80, you ought to think about it. Right? You don't have to do anything, but you might want to consider it. But the problem is, as I have observed it, is it forces us all into these, everyone's in a corner with the fists up. And there has to be a level of, I'm not trying to tear you down, brother or sister. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not telling you something personal.
It's the approach. It's the approach.
Right?
Yep.
It's
that
like,
part again, Herschel.
this isn't personal to you. Now, the problem obviously is you might come into that jerk who it is personal and you don't know.
Right.
That's why you need a thick damn skin, just like you have in real life. We're not talking to random people who went to freaking Brady Bunch High. Everybody we're talking to is Black or Latin. You already have the thick skin. You only let your guard down because other people look like you and you think you're safe. You're not. Okay? So behave accordingly and find people you can trust. Find people whose artwork you like and they got the right vibe for you. Find a person whose writing you like and they got the right vibe for you. And maybe they have time. Maybe they don't. And if they don't, you got to take that and not think it's personal. They might not have time, right? And if you stumble on the first one, it's not that damned Eminem song where you only get one shot. Go back to the damn lab, right, and cook something else and bring that out and serve it to the people. They don't care. They won't remember. People forget you if you suck. They don't hold it against you. The thing you put out that sucks, they will not remember it. Okay, they will dredge it up later when you turn into a star. They will be like, "Didn't you do that thing that sucked?" But at that point, you're already Michael Jackson. So,
right.
That's all I wanted to say. Like, I'm happy to see you guys doing this. One of the reasons I love Black Comic Lords is there is the beginning of something here that, if it's nurtured, can solve this problem, which has been going on for decades.
Yeah,
right.
True.
And I want less animosity and more of, all right, fair. These are the problems. What can we do to fix? And I already see that also being discussed. So this is all good to me, and I wanted to just express that. But it is partly creators not knowing where they are, and it is partly the audience just coming out with these knives like this is supposed to be Batman level or whatever, when it can't be.
Right.
And I just want to clarify, like I said, that question was born because I've been in other posts and I've seen people say that and make that comparison. That's why I asked that. I full well know that you're not on that level. So I just want to bring that up. And then Jeff, you brought up a valid point. I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of, like, by the time I read that issue, you're 4 months down the road, but I can only go off of just what I have. So you gave me something to think about. And look, I agree with him. BCL is the reason I started buying Black Indies. You all inspired me. That's why I bought Concrete Comics. They were the first indies that I bought. It's because of this group. It's because of this group that I bought the hardcover for All Negro Comics, because somebody posted. I didn't even know that existed. It's because of that. It's because of this group that I backed the Epiphany Engine, because I'll put it to you like this. I told Herschel this earlier. When it comes to Marvel and DC, one of the trepidations I've had about being on the show is that I'm 5 years behind. Like, COVID just kind of took me out of my rhythm and I haven't caught back up. But you know what I have read recently that is up to current is Black Indies. I sit and I read at least one or two every Sunday while my clothes are drying at the laundromat. So I am taking the time to read these stories and not just looking at it like this is probably going to be shit. I'm reading each individual story and doing the best I can and I know how to do, just to judge it on its own merits. So, but this group has inspired me to do that. And I talked to her earlier. If I didn't care, if I didn't like Black Indies, I wouldn't say anything. I would be like what Herschel said. I would just be a lurker. I would just be here.
I didn't even know about Philadelphia until I saw it on this channel. Like, people have to talk.
And I gotta go soon.
I was like, damn, what is this? Like, it was like,
thanks, Ron, for coming in, man. Appreciate you coming in, Doc.
And I saw the little chat with Deron Flood. He said he got smoked with me. Look, I'm gonna say
let that slide, man. Let that go, man. Don't do that.
No, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to argue because
let it go, man. Let it go. Let Ronald.
It's all love. Like, I don't want
Ronald. No,
I'm not bringing up no kind. I just want to say, let me finish. I don't want to bring that here. I just, like Jeff said, it's all in love. Anything that I do is to engage the group. This post was just to get people thinking. I want to just be a part as best as I can. I'm not here to start trouble with nobody. So I'm going to leave before that becomes a thing.
For sure. Ronald, I want to personally thank you on behalf of BCL on agreeing to come on the show. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on here is because I really did think that you did it from your post today, that it didn't come from a place of negativity. I know that it generally came from a place of, I'm enjoying this. I want to support this genre. I want to help contribute to the discussion. And you did that. So that's one of the reasons why I really thought it was important that you came on. I'm glad you came on. Thank you for Herschel to reach out to you and bringing you on. And, look, as I said before, it's not like we have this discussion in mixed company. It's us.
Yeah.
We need to be able to talk to each other. We need to be able to have these types of discussions with each other openly, but without being, negative, without it being personal,
Yeah.
And that goes for the creators as well, Ronald. I didn't read whatever the hell it is that you think started your beef, but people have been talking shit about me for quite some time. I'm not reaching out for anybody's neck. Okay. They can say whatever they want. And if there's some value in what they say, I take it.
Say it again. Say that again, Brother Thorne. Say that one more time.
People say what they're going to say, right? And critics of good faith can still come really hard on you. And there have been people coming from my neck since I stepped on the field. And I am not mad at any of them. I don't think about them like someone when I see, oh, dude, when I see you, you better keep walking. It's not like that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I wouldn't have brought up Duran if I didn't see his comment. Because even in that post, I was like, I'm going to block him.
But we should all avoid this level of beef. Okay, you have seen what happened in the music industry when these beefs get out of hand. Everyone's trying to entertain, everyone's trying to educate, everyone's trying to make a little bit of joy to the person who is taking in whatever they're doing, whether it be critic or creator. You're not doing it because you hate everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely.
Right. So even if it comes off, and also when it's in text, everything seems harsher in text. So I would tell creators, relax. Just freaking relax. You think you're going to get 100% of the audience?
I'm gonna put Lonzo. I'm gonna put you on pause for 1 second.
Okay, yeah.
Because the silentest person on this entire panel is Derek, and he speaks through text.
Derek's wild, man.
Like this are a journey, and at the other side of this journey is a shared experience and understanding that was not here before. I really hope everyone got that from this discussion. Lonzo, we want to bring you up next because you have something that I thought really needs. One of the reasons we brought Lonzo on is Concrete is working on some things that's important. One of the things that I've constantly said about Lonzo personally and Concrete Comics is they're one of those publishers and creators that are doing things the right way. And when I say that, it's not just simply, although it's important, the stories that they tell and the art that they produce. It's how they conduct their business. It's how they represent for this community. It's how they uplift others. I've seen Lonzo personally try to uplift other publishers and others creators, to help uplift them as well. What is it they say? High tides rises ships or something like that.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Rising tide lifts all things.
I gotta get out of here, guys. How do I exit out? I'm new to this. So how do I exit out and everything?
Ron, appreciate you, boss.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah, just in the studio,
but everybody else.
Yes, sir. All right, bro.
All right.
Lonzo and Concrete are also doing community outreach, and they've got a really important project that I thought deserves some shine. And Lonzo, please talk us about what your project is.
Yeah, I sent Mr. Derek a dope video that kind of explains it pretty dope. So I guess if he run that, John, then I could kind of further explain it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, hold on just a second.
It should be there, but
yeah,
we definitely been getting into the community with a imprint that we launched called Project Miss, which stands for Making Yesterday Safer Today, and I'm just excited to show y'all what probably one of our biggest accomplishments have been in our 5 years, this is our 5th year anniversary year. So, and it's a hell of a way to close out the year. So here we go.
This one, right?
Yes, sir.
Copies are going out to those who are registered to vote 18 through 35, all in Philadelphia area. It's here with my boy Derek. We have one of the most important elections coming up, and you've done something special.
It is true. It's very true, man. My name is Derek Lonzo Starr Allen. I'm the CEO and founder of Concrete Comics. We brought you Liberty Nights today.
I got a couple of questions for you. All of your characters in some of your comic books are all African American, all Black.
Yeah, Concrete Comics is all about representation, man. Creating a POC character. That's something that we definitely don't see, and we just wanted to give ourselves our own voice in this medium because we don't often get that that spotlight. So that's what Concrete Comics is all about, and that's why I partnered with Show Up Strong and the Voter Project to really bring what we do as a talent and into the culture to Philadelphia. It's something different to this election.
That's amazing. Tell me what's happening now. Everyone's going to receive this comic book.
Yes. You don't got to go out and get it. You don't got to call nobody. It's going to show up in your mailbox.
You said you did this all within a month's time.
All within a month's time, man.
You guys will have this in your mailbox by the 22nd. Make sure when you get it, scan that QR code for more information. Over 100,000 copies are going out to those who are registered to vote 18 through 35, all in Philadelphia area. It's here with my boy Derek. We have one of the most important elections coming up, and you've done something special.
It is true. It's very
That's it, Derek.
Yeah, that's it right there, man. So y'all see it, man. 100,000 copies of these were delivered directly to registered voters in Philadelphia to help encourage more people to go out and vote. We ain't talking about who to vote for or what to vote for. It's just go out and register to vote, and let's just try to make a difference, man. And that's one of my favorite parts of being a comic publisher and a comic creator is that not only do we write stories about saving the world, we can actually do it and try to do it and try to have our voices out there. So I created the Liberty Nights just for Philadelphia, and 100,000 copies sold in 1 month is kind of crazy, you know what I mean? And I'm not mad at that at all, man. So shout out to our partners over there at Show Up Strong and the Voter Project, man. Concrete Comics is in your house right now. Household name.
So where can people in the Philly area set themselves up to get to be part of this project?
So it was delivered to 100,000 residents, like straight to their mailbox. So a lot of people just woke up and had it already.
Can people still get it?
Yeah, so you just subscribe to the website. You can get a free digital copy, and we will be having a link on there if anybody wants to purchase this. It's dope, man. Shout out to the team. We literally had a short deadline. It was from maybe September 14th, and the book had to be printed by the 3rd of October. So, we got that thing done. I wrote it in about a couple hours, and we put it out, man. And just some of the emails and some of the people that are responding to it are blown away by it. Somebody said this is probably the best voter propaganda they've seen in years. So
you got high praise from Mr. Cannon White. He called you guys heroes in the flesh.
Hey, man, Cannon White, man. Listen, all I know is I'm trying to get Cannon White to do the Acolyte trade cover, man. I need that. You know what I mean? And we made sure
you heard it here. Just reach out. Just give him your email so he can reach out, man.
Oh, for sure, man. I definitely will. Cannon White, funny story. Cannon White did our first ever company poster.
Okay, that's what's up.
But yeah, man. Shout out to Liberty Nights is in your house right now, and if you are in Philadelphia, you probably got this in your mailbox. And shout out to everybody that's been subscribing to the website.
So in our discussions about the title of this video is about criticism of Black indie comics. Well, here's a Black indie comic that's doing it big and doing it right. So if you have criticism for them, be critical in the sense of why aren't more companies like Concrete Comics, in my opinion. So shout out to you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you, bro. Really, man. We got a lot coming from Project Miss. K-Way High has been running through New Jersey. This is a high school drama book that's focused on, sexuality, substance abuse, depression, mental health, and mental awareness. So this is really ripping the runways right now, man. So y'all be on the lookout for K-Way High as well, written by myself and a couple of the creators in Concrete. So, it's been really dope to give these opportunities to everybody that's on the team as well. So that's fine.
All right. So moving on. Look, appreciate everyone who's watching us. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, share the video. If you got a little extra bread you want to throw in our pockets, appreciate it. It helps to keep the lights on and pay for all this stuff. Really appreciate you.
Paul, real quick. I have to say, and I gotta go too. I love to see the amount of people that came to show up to see what we was talking about tonight. But somebody on this chat said something to me earlier and said, man, and it's sad, and we just gotta do better. When we have indie guys, when we talk about certain things, we get regular numbers. Tonight was something a little messy. Lots of people want to show up. Yeah, I mean, we gotta do better. Let's get off around a little bit, get off the creators a little bit, the community, self-reflection, man. Come on. Now I know I made a little flyer in BCL, whatever, but God, dog, bro, like Derek, where we at numbers wise, bro? Like YouTube is good. I know other channels is even more than this.
We were on 90 people. We were on 90 people at the peak, close to 90.
Man, let us would have pulled up somebody. This is my book. I'm doing this. Y'all know what those numbers would have looked like. We got to do better. I said what I said.
Understand if we nitpick at each other, at the end of the day, it's because we're family, and family sometimes bicker.
For sure.
No, that's true.
All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disparage you, sir. Big Phil, DJ Big Phil, has something he'd like to. They don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
Terrible.
I got to bounce, y'all. Thank you for letting me in.
Hey, Jeff, anytime, man.
Thank you, Mr.
You don't ever have to thank us, man. You're invited anytime.
And Lonzo, I'm about to dig into all of your repertoire. So next time
I'm a little nervous now. I'm a little scared now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like that.
I'm a little nervous, but no, I got to roll
backstage.
Y'all.
As small point, Jeff. Last time we had you on, you talked about trying to find somebody to publish your stuff. Talk to Lonzo. Talk to Lonzo.
We can talk.
Oh, for sure.
We can talk.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make connections happen. That's what we do on Black Comic Lords, damn it.
I will guarantee you I will write you a short for whatever title in your repertoire that you think I would be appropriate for.
This is the cat, Jeff, who I was telling you that you should hook up with. So
okay. So let me dig into it. If I see something I can contribute to, I will definitely hit you up. And if you see something in my stuff, you're like, oh, he'd be good for this, feel free.
Well, no, for sure, man. That's one thing we definitely trying to do more of is have some more co-writers, because most of us, we write by ourselves and then we come out in the light when it's ready. But having a co-writer there that you can really rock out with and understand your vision is flawless, man. And just having somebody lead the title as well.
Nobody ever reached out to me when I was coming in. Let me put it
2025 Red Jack on Concrete Comics. I'm just putting it out there.
Shut up, y'all. All right, I'll see y'all later.
I definitely appreciate y'all, man. And I guess the last thing I'll just say is when it comes to the critiquers, just try, when y'all critiquing, just try not to lump the whole Black indie community into it. Like you don't have to put us all under the thing.
There's layers to this shit, y'all. There's layers to it.
Individual.
Definitely layers.
That's what I'm saying. You don't gotta throw the whole community in with the bag. You know what I'm saying?
The bus ain't that big, y'all.
Critique exactly what you're critiquing and leave inside of it, man. All right? That's all I'm saying.
My wife is yelling at me. I gotta go. Bye, y'all.
All right. Dr.
All
Wizard,
right,
our commercial break, sir.
As if we haven't seen enough Herschel.
What's good, Comic fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partying together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. Philip, go to any one of these websites, you're going to save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics, and you're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books, and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're going to get 20% off. You spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. We out.
All right.
Welcome to Paul.
Yeah, he'll be back in a minute. So that was a great discussion, and as you know, I just sat there and just sat back and listened.
Man, you were instigating, D. You was instigating in your own way, man. You're hilarious.
By the way, Phil, we didn't forget you, so let's go in and get you covered right now with your super chat. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I just want to say I gave the first super chat of the day an hour and 25 minutes ago, but
wow, you actually counted it. Wow.
I did, man. My feelings is hurt.
I thanked you right away, though.
You did, Angel. I'm sorry. Angel showed me some love from the gate, so it's all good.
Whatever.
Hey, I gotta go. But Philip,
yes, sir.
I know you gonna say what I'm too scared to say, so you got it.
I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm done.
Listen, somebody get Richard a drink, because Richard is if you get Richard's face, he's tinkering right now. He's tinkering. He's still on the last.
Richard's all right. Richard's all right. Richard's all right.
He's still back there with Ron. He's still.
Oh no! Listen, I got a show. I got a pulpit I can preach from. I'm not pressed at all.
Herschel, why you doing that, man? Herschel, you's a wild dude, man. You ain't gotta do that right now, man. We everything Gucci.
Oaken the bear.
Man, he's wild. That's y'all boy.
Listen, let me go. But hey, listen, if Ron is still watching this, shout out to Ron. Paul, this is good stuff, bro. That was a good conversation. I'm out. I said too much. I'm out of here.
Mr. Here for the chaos.
That's
yeah, pretty
much. All right. So, Phil, what do you got for us, man? You always got something cooking, man.
First and foremost, man, shout out to my man Otis, man. Otis blessed. I got blessed. Jay and Otis blessed me with the illest. This is the New York Comic-Con exclusive, man. And show Otis some love, man. He got the Black Lives figures and everything else. You know, I just try to show love as much as I can. And I had to get this shirt early. And Otis, I appreciate you sending me Otis's shirt. And I had it in time for the con, but I couldn't make it to the con. So it is what it is. And Rich, your shirt is hard, man. What is that? Is that Barn?
Now,
what is that?
See the rest of your shirt, Rich. What do you stand up, man? Show the shirt.
It's just a little something. It's just Barnes, Priest, McDuffie.
Ooh, that's hard.
Let me see the whole thing. Let me see the whole thing.
Oh, and Greaves. Okay.
That's hard, man.
Hill, is that Brian Edward Hill?
Yes.
Did you have that made, or did you find it somewhere?
No, I had it made.
Had it made, man.
That's dope, man. That's
flexing. That's a nice shirt.
We might need to put that in the BCL store.
And that's the right colors too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Shout out to Pittsburgh. For whatever reason, they think they own the black and gold, but you know. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. When I found out that Phil was gonna be on the show tonight, I said to myself, I was like, "Bruh, this Negro gonna say something about this black and gold." It was cool. I love black and gold. Black and gold is a dope combination for sure.
For sure.
Yo, shout out to Kazra Gavani of OAX. That's your boy, Phil.
Yeah, that's the homie in here. OAX, you know, that's Original Art Expo. Be linking up with them. That's for another show. But hey man, I think it's been a good show so far. Man, I really enjoyed the show, man, and I really do feel like everybody was saying the same thing, but we started to argue semantics at a certain point, you know. So it just is what it is. So
all right, what do you got for us, man?
Hold on. I got it.
Look at that.
I got to be more fun these super chats.
Oh,
come on, man.
I got Steeler Nation. It was to start with all this stuff.
It wasn't even me this time.
Hey, behind the scene, thank you very much for your trolling and for your super chat. We appreciate it.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
I style asked the question. He said, "What's everybody's name in that?" So Barnes is currently my favorite writer. Christopher Priest, for probably, in my opinion, writing one of the dopest Black Panther story arc, which is The Client.
One of.
Huh? No,
Nothing.
that is the best.
Thank
I
you.
respectfully to all the other Black Panther writers, or whatever, I have yet to read something that tops The Client as far as a story arc. I said a story arc, not a one shot, a story arc. The Client is kind of flawless. So that's just my opinion. And of course, Dwayne McDuffie, for being the greatest Black comic writer in my opinion. Period. Brian Edward Hill, because I feel like if Rodney Barnes wasn't doing Philadelphia, he would probably be in the top spot because that dude has done nothing but excellent stuff.
Yep.
His resume is pretty sick when you think about it.
Damn
and
near
of course, Kevin Greavy for creating and writing the best story in terms of Marvel created original character, Blue Marvel. You know what I'm saying? So I give him love.
Yes.
For just doing that, a Black man creating a Black character at the biggest comic book company in the world. You know, so these are the guys that I love. I love, I just could go on, but me as a fan, and this is basically, there's a company called Top 5, and most people do things with like MCs or that kind of thing.
Right.
I wanted to do something with my favorite writers. And so, it's I don't think this list will change. You know what I'm saying, to be honest with you. But, Dwayne McDuffie, I don't think enough gets said about how dope he was.
Yeah.
I just don't think we can praise that dude enough. I mean, Ronald brought up Alan Moore, who created, some people think is the greatest comic book ever, which is what? Watchmen? But white quote unquote guys, they have their heroes, they have their favorites. Frank Miller, who wrote, Born Again. That Daredevil story arc, incredible. But Black fans or whatever don't really have stories that they can really say resonate with them. Dwayne McDuffie's Hardware run, in my opinion, is one of the dopest story or dopest runs ever.
Right.
His Deathlock is incredible as well. But the stuff that he has done at Marvel and DC, his Justice League run, it was just sick. It was just sick. That dude, it hurts me that he's not here, because I just wonder what would have came down the pipe had he lived. He literally died in the middle of his zenith. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that is my Stan Lee. That is my Black Stan Lee, Dwayne McDuffie, bar none. I might do one for artists, but these are my favorite writers. So
I can't mess with that list. I might ask you to send me the site so I can get the same damn shirt. It's pretty dope, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, Phil.
Yes,
take
sir.
that thing off your head, bro. Take that. What are you doing?
I want you to understand the reality of how real this is. I'm just getting prepared for the knowledge that I need right now.
He got a terrible tile on this.
Terrible.
Hey, we just keep it real.
Shout out to Pittsburgh for giving Russell Wilson another shot at life.
Hey, listen, that second half he went hard though. He went a hard body that second half. And I saw Sierra downtown last week. But anyway, another conversation. Who said take that rag off? Man, I must be somebody who got a team who ain't won no Super Bowls ever.
Just let the man keep his security blanket, okay?
And Tomlin, that's okay. That's okay. How many Super Bowls your team got, Paul?
We got like one.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't even know what that looked like.
It's funny. Anyway, come on, get on with it, Phil.
You got to say, man.
All right, so check it out. So the first thing I want to say is, I'm happy to be on the show. I know Paul's gonna say, man, you part of this. I don't care. I just like saying every time I get on here, but the lines is all right, man, but they still trash. But
this fools keep asking me, hey, can I come on the show? Why are you asking me if you can come on your own damn
So listen, so we're gonna start the show called what did I call the show? I forget the name. Moving on.
You never came up with the name. You didn't tell me what
came up with. So Collections in Black is doing extremely well. This weekend I have a slew of events. I'm in the process now because we're gonna be done in January here in Pittsburgh, and we're gonna I'll be moving it to another city pretty soon. And I just want to say I appreciate Black Comic Lord's family because I've had people coming from all over the country to come in and to see the exhibit, and it's an incredible piece. Tomorrow I'll be I'll have a special screening at Carnegie Mellon University tomorrow. And that's Friday and Saturday, man. So it's the next slide, brother. It's the next slide, brother. But but tomorrow I'll be there we go. Tomorrow I'll be at Carnegie Mellon. And that's going to be super dope. And afterwards, we're going to do a panel discussion. I got my brothers from Comicsburg. They're going to be part of that as well. And then on Friday and Saturday, we're going to do sort of not necessarily a meet and greet. I'm going to do like some personal tours. It's going to be a gallery talking tour with me. You see Brother John Jennings on there. He's in the director's cut of the film. And we're just going to do some and it's the gallery crawl. So I'm gonna sit there for like a couple hours and we're gonna sit back and I'm gonna do some personal tours with people. Because I think that when I do the personal tours and I sit back and I show people the art and I talk to them about it and they see the passion in it, it gives a totally different perspective. And it's incredible to see. I'll be very honest. Like every time I walk in there, I sometimes forget that it's mine. Because it's like I'm walking in as if I'm just seeing some of these things for the first time. I'm like, damn, this is incredible. I'm like, oh, I did this. But it's just a testament to, the hard work, and y'all been part of this journey. Y'all been with me on this journey from the beginning. Paul was with me in Florida, New York, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just seeing all this take place is just pretty dope. And if you're in the Pittsburgh area, you need to come see this. If you're a Black collector, you actually have no excuse to not see this. This is part of the culture, and I'll
be there in 3 weeks.
I know. Are we gonna tell them what we're doing in 3 weeks? Have we told them what we're doing?
No.
Okay.
Don't pull a Herschel on me. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Can of worms. They're open.
That's funny.
But yes, sir.
Well, I didn't want to keep. If you're still talking, go ahead, bro. I'll wait till you finish. Go ahead.
Do we have this trailer to play so people
go ahead, Pastor? Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead, Pastor.
Oh man, I just wanted to. I mentioned it on Sunday night, but I just wanted to congratulate you again on being a pawpaw.
Yes, congrats.
Thank you.
Just wanted to let everybody know that you's a young man, but you got somebody younger under you now.
For sure. Hey, man, I'm a granddad, and it's one of the most beautiful things, to have the grandbaby here, because you gotta let the baby stay with you for a minute to make sure the mama acclimated and everything,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But to wake up and to hold my grandbaby in the mornings before I get up and go make a move is the dopest thing ever, man. It's incredible.
Let me ask you this. One quick question about that. What's the first comic book you're gonna give it?
So it's funny. So when I first brought him home, the first thing we did when he first got to the house, because they don't keep babies for like 2 hours in the hospital now. They had a baby and they damn near sent him home. Baby came home under 24 hours. First thing I did was I put on Big Daddy Kane, Ain't No Half Stepping. And I had it playing, had the video playing, and he's sitting there. Then I played Eric B. and Rakim, I Ain't No Joke. Because I needed my grandbaby to be right. I need my grandbaby to get acclimated to the type of life that I need to let him know exactly where he's gonna be at in this house. We praise the Lord and we listen to hip hop. This is what we doing. But I don't know. You know, it's my first grandbaby, man. The hell?
So your dad gave you part of your collection. Are you gonna gift your first grandchild one of the books your dad gave you?
Nah.
No, you're not gonna do that.
Because I ain't that damn sentimental. That's why I ain't doing that. It's like, no, I'm a
kids, man.
Hey, wait. So it's funny because I told my youngest, somebody said something to me about some comics about who I'm giving the books to. And my youngest looked at me and I was like, yeah, my youngest got first dibs. Kristen got first dibs. She got first dibs, but I think my grandbaby though, I'm about to get him a crazy long box. You know, I'm gonna take like a bunch of my keys that I got doubles of. And I'm just gonna put, you know, I'm gonna start putting stuff. I'm gonna put stuff away for him that way. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make sure he's straight. You know,
that's what's up.
But
let's talk about your other baby, man. Collections in Black. Let's play that trailer. So those who are new to the channel, who are not familiar with what you're talking about when you say Collections in Black, have an idea what it is.
What does that say? No. That says no.
Man. I know our producer will fix it.
There we go.
All right, so this isn't a trailer. What this is actually a walkthrough of part of what the exhibit looks like. And you can see just how it's ridiculous. And it's you have to see it. Look at that. That's a bunch of Matt Baker stuff. And that's all original artwork on the walls. No facsimiles. Y'all see that heat up there. And this is just the second floor. This isn't the first floor. So this is just what the second floor looks like. Wow. That's the Billy Graham wall right there. And I didn't put this piece together. Somebody else put this together and they sent this to me. And that's all Billy Graham work right there. That's Sean Martinborough stuff. It's incredible. And that's where the movie showed the whole time. And I think we got that's Brother Flood right there. And it's amazing, man. And like when you see it, that's a whole wall of nothing but Stroman art right there.
Wow.
And that's a walkthrough. That's just and I didn't do. We have another one for the first floor. Yeah, go ahead and let that rock one more time. That's all 9/8, all Mego toys. And like I said, you won't find this at any other exhibit. All original artwork. You can't find that anywhere else. You know, so it's dope, man. And it's I felt I did it for the culture, man. And this was for us. I feel like this was something for us that we can appreciate and love. So. I can't wait for you to come see this in person, Paul, man. We're going, it's going to be really dope.
Well, I'm bringing my whole family, man. So let's make it a thing.
For sure, man. Maybe, I'll make sure I get everybody some terrible towels. You know what I'm saying? I'll get the whole family right. You see that? You see that black and gold though. You see that's the only colors that's in there, right? Just so we clear. Woo, Jesus. But yeah. We got. I want to get Rich up, man. Rich, we got to get you up here, dog.
For real.
Yeah, we gotta get you up here, man. Like for real, we gotta make it happen. And so, and just if January, speaking of Casra, we'll be in at OAX, and I don't know if I could talk about it yet, but we're gonna have some surprises in Florida. I'm gonna be an Angel in Paul's backyard, man. So it's gonna be something crazy, and we are. And I'm saying this right now while I got Casra on here. I'm trying to figure out how I could put y'all in the mix also. So we'll talk about that a little later. So I just want to make sure that we're gonna be represented there in the right way. So. That's
Casro, I won't say no to a ticket to OAX.
Kevin, you got me. I got in trouble last time, man, because I gave you my I gave you my tickets, and they made a joke or something else about it. But it's all good.
All the business out there, man. Come on, man.
You guys are hilarious.
But it's
that's what's up.
Let me say this, Rich, too. on a critique level, I love doing this. Cause me and Rich is my guy. Man, I love Rich, man. I love that Sunday show, man. I love the Sunday show. I was telling Paul today, was it today? How I was talking about how I started watching the Whiskey Blurred Black Comic, whatever the hell y'all call that show, with you and old boy. He needs a light though, because it's like he be recording in the corner. But I'd be like, he recording on a Galaxy 3 fan.
Wow.
I can't even call it because
But I would say this. So, but let me say this. I watched Paul last week. I think it was last week. And him and old boy were on there for like 3 hours, 4 hours. It was the most entertaining 4 hours I've seen in a while of watching a YouTube show, because I feel like after a while, I feel like when he was doing the show, it got to the point where it was like they even forgot the cameras were on and they were just talking, and they were just talking about whatever they were talking about. And I was truly entertained. And it's one of those, and I said to him, I asked him about the numbers, but the numbers were like that day. And it was just, it just matches. And I feel like, we talk about critiques. I feel like as being a part of Black Common Lords and watching Black Common Lords as we go, I feel like the shows just keep getting, just increasingly, measurably better and better and better. And it's like, I could sit back and I could watch the show, and I know these dudes on the show. I know Rich, I know Paul, I know Andrew, I know Derek. But for me, the litmus test is when I could watch a show and I forget that I'm watching people that I know, and I can just sit back and just enjoy it for the information and for what it is. And I feel like, that's the thing that I like about this particular channel. And we don't always agree. Sometimes we argue, but it's all love and it's all family. And, you're not going to get that anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? And today's show was funny because everybody was fired up, and I'm sitting back, I'm cracking up, I'm laughing. and then wait a minute, people going at each other, and then Thorne gets on there. He said, "Everybody get quiet." Everybody get quiet. I'm saying this. He said exactly what I said, but he said it in a different way. Everybody went, and I'm looking at y'all like, man, y'all funny as hell, man. But I let that slap. Like, man, you're like, you right, Thor. I'm like, but I said that, man. Y'all threw darts at me, man. But I love y'all anyway. It is what it is. And Derek's the funniest because Derek was just throwing in the wildest. Like, somebody would say something, he would throw in some commentary to go against it just to be funny. And he throws them up so quick, like he throws them up. And then he goes to the next one. It's like he has them lined up. But all jokes aside, I think today's show was dope. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, please come out tomorrow at CMU for the screening. This weekend, I'm doing some private tours Friday and Saturday. And I'm going to have the director's cut ready. And the director's cut is going to be crazy. And I'm thinking the director's cut is going to make its way to Florida. And that's going to be the one that has. There's a lot of Black comic lords there's a lot of BCL in the director's cut. There's a lot of, you got Still Freeze, you got Strowman, you got Jennings, you got the brothers who put out Black. Like, the director's cut's crazy, y'all. The director's cut's crazy. So I'm still not gonna put that up the stream though. I apologize. But it is what it is.
I'm speechless. Look forward to it, man.
For sure.
Is it gonna be done by the time I'm up there?
The director's cut?
Yeah.
I'll let you sit back and watch whatever you want to watch. When you come through, we'll sit back and we'll go through, watch some pieces, man, and put some pieces together. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I can't wait for you to come up, man. And we're gonna go digging. We're gonna go to some shots. I'll take you to some of the secret spots, and we're gonna make it to
Oh, that's the super secret warehouse spot.
Did you just say you're taking me to the secret spot, the warehouse?
So unfortunately, the warehouse doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
The dude who was over, he passed away. Unfortunately, he
Oh
passed away.
no.
But I have some other spots that are super crazy.
Been trying to get to that spot for 3 years, bro. For
Yo,
3 years.
Who's this Towns clown in here, man?
Yeah, we need to buy. He needs to go. He needs to go. He needs to go. Don't even engage. You just got to go.
Okay, all right, my fault.
We'll get rid of that.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. I'm about to make a joke. I'm gonna follow what Rich said. Man, Rich, I'm about to make a joke, man, but I appreciate you, Rich, being the adult pastor in the building. So I'm gonna be obedient and listen.
Well, I appreciate it, my brother. We don't have to. We don't have to get in the mud all the time. I don't mind every now and then.
Hey, look, we both taking a sip though.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But no, so I mean that's all I got, man. I mean, y'all gonna talk about that Rodney Barnes Batman book is crazy though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to issue number 2 when it comes out. I don't know if you guys have seen that variant. There's a nice variant. I can't think of who the artist is on it, but there's one variant. I think Dion, matter of fact, he posted it up in our space. That was pretty dope.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's a good book. That's a good book. I'm looking forward to the next couple of issues for sure.
And you know what, too? What's
the Subic variant? Is that the one, or the Francavilla?
Is that the one with all the moons in a row?
No. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, that's full moon number 1.
There's a virgin. There's a virgin cover.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just do this. You tell me which you talking about. This one here?
Oh, we got some clowns in here tonight.
That's how you know you're doing well.
Hey, that means the numbers is up, man.
We got some clowns in here tonight.
It is what it is, man. You gotta let them, the circus in town.
Yeah, well, let's just bounce them out real quick.
I'm a Miami Hurricane, man. I love the hate. That's how you know you're doing well.
So is this one you're talking about, Rich?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, from a distance, I couldn't see it that well.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Full moon variant. Can you click on it?
Oh, hold on. Share this tab instead. Here you go.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cool.
That's
like
nice.
that.
Is that a second print of number 1?
No. That's first
That's
print.
a variant.
It's a variant. Yeah.
That already came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah, go to the shop. You probably got some. I mean, bro, that book is selling, but they got plenty of copies on the shelves.
Yeah, they do. A lot of the LCSs have tons of this.
I don't know about the virgin cover, but you can get the trade dress. I think.
Is that one glow in the dark as well?
No, not that one. The cover A, that one glows in the dark. That's
changing his name around.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So talking about upcoming books.
Got you covered, Paul. I'm prepared.
Thank you.
It was a light week this week. It must have came out.
Just wanted to talk about some things that popped up on the radar this week. There was an announcement about this Absolute Green Lantern. We were just talking about Absolute Batman, right?
Oh, okay. Hold on.
We were talking about the full moon. There's also Absolute Batman we talked about last week. There's also an announcement for this Absolute Green Lantern. Now it's not it's not John Stewart. It's a young woman character that hasn't been described. They haven't said who she is. I don't know if it's Sojourner Mullen or somebody else.
It's Joe Mullen.
You think it's Joe Mullen?
Yeah, it's Joe Mullen.
Okay.
I'm not familiar. Put me deep. Is that a new character or?
No, that's Far Sector.
Oh, okay. I had to put my glasses on, y'all. Don't talk about me.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's got a different hairstyle in this particular book.
Okay.
So DC reveals a first look at Absolute Green Lantern from writer Al Ewing and artist Janoy Lindsay. The book debuts this March and will be a cosmic horror series.
Oh.
There ain't nothing about that sentence that I find bad.
Nope. I love horror.
That's crazy.
One of my favorite writers, Al Ewing, one of the hottest upcoming artists, Janoy Lindsay, and it's a cosmic horror series. I mean, say less. I mean, this will be on my pre-order list for real. So that's what's upcoming. We also had another post this week on this other thing. Let me pull that up if I can. Sorry, this is so messy. I didn't prepare this ahead of time.
That's
and
right.
Our producer's busy dealing with some foolishness.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
The agenda.
It is what it is.
But it's crazy though. Like I said, man, you know, we ain't even got time to argue and fight with each other because guess what? Message.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this other post that came out. Maryland
That's
Moonlight.
so pretty.
Meech's. This is from Meech Doodle. Is the moniker hit the artist goes by. This is Maryland Moonlight. She came out last year?
Yeah.
In the Superman comics.
Yeah.
It was created by Jamal Campbell and what's the name of the writer? I can't remember the name of the writer. I apologize, but it came out in Superman comics. This character is tied to Metropolis, I shouldn't say ancient, but Old West Metropolis. Her origins are shrouded in mystery, but you know she came back from basically the spirit of Metropolis in the Old West.
Joshua Williamson.
Thank you. That's Richard's boy. She has disappeared since then. And she is a fantastic character that needs to be brought back. The visuals alone are stunning. I think even Reggie Hudlin made a comment on this about how he thought the visuals are incredible. But people are really digging this, man. I hope DC, if they occasionally watch us, sees the amount of positive feedback people gave this image and try to do something with her because it's a real dope character, man. Had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I imagine that they will. It's just got to make sense, whatever it is they want to do. If they're going to keep her tied to Superman, or they're going to, try to tether her to somebody else or whatever. We know how this goes when it comes to these characters, whatever. Unfortunately, and with her, because that's really, I think, an Action Comics book. With them, what they're doing with Superman. I'm not reading the current run right now, so I'm not sure what's going on with Superman at the moment. But I'm pretty sure she'll be back. They got a lot of good feedback when she first appeared. So I imagine they're going to do something. I would settle for, be honest with you, because what DC is doing is in their main books they always have a secondary story. They could do a secondary story with her in it. I think that would be cool. So
yeah.
All right, so let's get into it's new comic book day. Not a whole lot came out this week, honestly. So we all got a lot of us got breaks on our wallets this week. There are a few things. Let's see. Oh, Derek, already have it up. Look at you doing that thing, man. Go ahead, Derek.
And Lashley.
Avengers 19. Storm's an Avenger now. That's really the driving force behind people's interest in this book. You got Storm, Black Panther, and Cap Falcon, Captain, whatever his name is, Sam Wilson, all in the same book. Storm got introduced last issue. It was false advertising on Marvel's part. They made it seem like she was going to be battling Hyperion. She did not. But this promises Doctor Doom is being introduced into this issue, and we do know that I think it's issue 21, there's going to be a confrontation between Doctor Doom and Storm, so that should be interesting. So let's go to the next one.
Any variants?
That's actually Marvel's next big crossover.
Yeah, Doom.
the
The whole
Doctor Doom
what do
tie-in.
we call it, Rich? It's not Doom War. It's something else.
World of Doom, I think is what it's called.
Something like that. Something like that.
But he's basically, just to give everybody a heads up, well, Doom is Sorcerer Supreme now.
Yeah, after Blood Hunt.
And because he's Sorcerer Supreme, he's Doom is going to Doom.
Right.
So he gonna be doing the most. You know what I'm saying? As Sorcerer Supreme. So that's what's going on with that. So I'm not necessarily going to buy every book, but I probably will buy the regular run. But yeah.
I'll tell you what book you are going to buy, Rich. You and I are big fans of Strange Academy. As you know, Strange Academy and Blood Hunt had its own Strange Academy Blood Hunt miniseries. Doom approached the kids from Strange Academy to tap into their magical energy to help him with defeating Varney and during Blood Hunt. But Strange Academy ultimately, I think, was either destroyed or it was moved to Latveria, which now makes and it's named after Doctor Strange, who's no longer Sorcerer Supreme. Who's the new Sorcerer Supreme? As Richard just said, it's Doctor Doom. So there's a new series coming out called Doom Academy. They're taking Strange Academy and making it Doom Academy. So all the kids from Strange Academy are now going to be under Doctor Doom. The first story centers around Zoe Laveau. Yeah.
What's happening to Brother Voodoo?
Brother Voodoo is going to be in the next issue of Storm. I don't know what's going to happen with him and the Strange Academy kids. He didn't even show up in Blood Hunt, so the one criticism I had of the Blood Hunt is that you've got this mystical vampire invasion and a guy who's noted for fighting vampires. Brother Voodoo wasn't in the series. I thought that was a missed opportunity.
The story would have ended early.
It would have, because
yeah.
Voodoo would handle that really well.
Well, since you mentioned it, can we just quickly do our trailer for Stormwatch?
Sure.
Okay.
Can we?
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to let the cat out the bag? Go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, we've got our monthly show.
Look, to your credit, you've spent this entire episode 2 hours in, and you haven't.
When does the next book come out?
November 2nd, I think, something like that.
Oh, that's next week.
Is it next week, or is it the week after?
It's the week after.
Is it the week after?
Yeah, it's the week after.
It's coming out soon.
That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now.
So it's the Thursday 2 weeks from now, right? Is the next episode of Stormwatch, and this is just our trailer to get you hyped up.
Let me just go look. It doesn't come out November 6th. Oh, Black Lightning comes out November 13th. Wouldn't it be great if we could get the writer from Black Lightning on here?
And that would be dope if that happened.
But we're the Black Comic Lord, so that can't possibly happen.
Wow. Man, this sounds like a fake setup.
It is.
That was crazy.
I can't even pretend that.
Man, that was terrible.
Next Storm comes out November 20th, so that means the next Stormwatch is November 21st.
Okay, so about a month from now, here's.
I don't know what company Derek is hiring to do these intros, but they're fire.
So you know what's dope though is my last 2 commissioned pieces of art have all been Storm pieces. Have all been Storm pieces, and you know, for whatever reason, I'm on a Storm kick right now.
It's a good
As it
time to
pertains
do it
to original
because
art, I'm,
the
I'm, I'm on a
50th
Storm
anniversary is
kick.
next year.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Storm, those Marcus Williams, was that Marcus Williams who did the Storm pieces for
Yeah, he
YG?
was doing original art. He was selling.
Man,
Yeah,
if anybody is looking for original pieces, if he still has some on his Instagram, please buy them. They are incredible. The prices are not crazy either. Just do yourself a favor if you want to dip your toes in original art. And Marcus Williams is, in my opinion, his pen and pencil work is A class. Like he's unbelievable. If you get a chance to see that work, you know, consider buying those pieces, man. They're beautiful pieces. I'm not sure if he has any left or how many he has left, but those original pieces on Marcus Williams' Instagram page are incredible pieces and dope pieces to have. You know, and I'm not getting paid to say that. You know, I'm just saying that, man. I'm just trying to get people
Don't
an
miss
alley.
out. If he's got any left, don't miss out. Grab them.
as I said before, there wasn't a whole lot of other books that came out this week. But to just sort of scroll through those, there's that Blade, which we're going to talk about 1 second. Convert. I read the first issues of the Convert. Robinson Crusoe in Space. If you dig that, you should like it. I don't know anything about the Sacred Damned book. It just came out today.
Mm-hmm.
What book was that again? Say it again.
The Sacred Damned.
Okay.
I think it's a cult book. Let me see.
Not much about it.
It's a Muslim John Constantine, is how they're describing it. A new type of exorcist re-examining modern horror for fans of the Department of Truth in Philadelphia. That's the genre it's being likened to.
Well, y'all tell me about it. Y'all tell me about it. 'Cause I ain't going.
Which is like I'm not exceeding my budget.
I'm not gambling on that. Y'all have somebody gonna tell me about it.
It's 40 pages for $3.99. That's not too bad, Rich. That's not a gamble.
Yeah, Rich, $4, man, for 40 pages. That's a steal.
Yeah, that sounds like something you're gonna tell me about. That's what that sounds like.
And see, people, that was a critique without him even looking at the book. And this is what we do here at Black Comic Lords. You
That's
gotta
right. Don't say we don't critique the books. Like I'm gonna critique the Moon Man #5 right now. Moon Man is a fantastically written book, but the artwork is distracting.
It's busy.
It's definitely an acquired taste. It's not the best art, but I think it's cool for what it is. And Kid Cudi is kind of like he's not gonna say he's the weirdo, but he's kind of out there.
Wow.
So,
it's not terrible.
Cudi, listen, I don't know that guy personally. I just know he's done some stuff that is I've just scratched my head. And again, his book is good, but that art is kind of far out. You know what I'm saying? It's trippy. So that's what I mean by when I say that.
Hold on, Angel. I know you're showing a close up. Let me get into that. Okay.
So he has like really sharp lines instead of, a lot of artists will blend their structures like facially, but it's really akin to like stonework.
Move
and
a bit
then
more to your left. There you go.
The colors are really vibrant.
Yeah.
So the color palette changes quite drastically. So like here is like rainbow and blues, but then you immediately go to purples because it's flowing with emotion, which a lot of comic stories don't do. So I appreciate
the artistic merit.
Right. Like here, now we're in oranges and blues because it's a different person, different mood.
It's chaotic. It's chaotic.
I don't think
no,
it's
for real.
chaotic. like
it's when you it's literally when you turn the page, like you say, it's something completely different. Your eyes have just got through looking at these blues and these greens, and now he hitting you with all this orange or whatever. It's
Well, no, it has a method to it. Like if you follow
get
when the
that.
character changes, the colors is going with the mood with the character. So
I
that's
know.
why it's so dramatic. Like how
You're
this is the
right.
same character and it's flowing with that same color.
One person is dramatic, another person's chaotic.
And then now we're at pales of greens and tans because it's a different person now in the story.
He does a number on your eyeballs. I'll just say it like this.
I like it though. I like it.
Rich is like,
I've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, still like it.
I'm just saying, look. See, back in the day, and I can say this because I'm delivered from that. But I used to smoke a little weed, and I probably would look at this and probably would kind of freak out. So no, I'm good.
I love foil.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get back to that in 1 second. 1 second, Angel.
Okay.
Bring that back up in 1 second.
That's
Eric, bring up the list of the books again. Let me just finish that out.
Moon Man.
Moon Man, Power Fantasy, great series, fantastic series. I highly recommend y'all check out Power Fantasy. Basically,
so I've been picking up the Power Fantasy books.
Did you read it yet?
I didn't get whatever came out today, but I have a stack. I'm embarrassed to say I have a stack of books over there that I have not read, but I've been picking those up. So
this is a dope series. It's a dope series. The original concept. It's not like anything you've read before. It's kind of cool. Go back. There you go. And then there's just a reprint of Venom. All right. So let's go to Blade. Let's go to Blade at the top of the page. Blade Red Band. Let me tell you something. This is a dope book. Shout out to Brian Edwards. He does not have the same artist that he had on the other Blade series he had earlier this year.
Okay.
I missed that artist. He had two different artists technically. This is a different artist. It's a different style. It's not as good, in my opinion, as the artist he had on the previous book.
Okay.
But it's still decent. The story is excellent. Now, it takes up literally after Blood Hunt. As you know, Blade's body got taken over by Varney, the ancient vampire demon guy, and he did a lot of bad things. And now he feels some type of way about it because whatever little soul that Blade has got corrupted, and he's taken it personally, and he feels the need to redeem himself. So it kind of starts off with him. It's kind of the ancient warrior journey that you see in all the classic kung fu flicks, where the warrior is defeated, so he has to go out into some ancient monastery and meet with some old monk guy to get his head right, learn some new tricks so he can come back as a stronger warrior. That's basically what happens. And he gets called upon by a new entity, a new group, to go fight the big bad. That's basically the story in a nutshell. He packed a lot of stuff into one issue, and there's plenty of action. It's Red Band, so it's violent. I don't think it was so violent that it really needed a red band per se.
This one didn't need it. Not that I could
I
see.
don't think it really needed red band.
I think it was just that one creature that was getting beat up. I think that was supposed to be the gore, but it didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah, it wasn't all that bad. It didn't. I don't think it really needs the red band. But look, it's a dope issue. But that brings up the point. What was also came out this week is that the Blade. You can bring up the slide, Derek. The Blade movie is apparently on
hiatus.
Hiatus.
Is that the word they're using?
I think that. Never mind. I'm gonna let you say what you got to say. Then I'll give you my opinion on that.
No, that's it. I'm trying to figure out what's the status of this movie. It's been
on pause.
I think
we all see the slate. We all see the slate from D23 where Marvel does the chart and they put all the timeline with all the movies on the timeline going for the next 5 years.
Right.
Blade has been removed off that timeline.
Yeah.
I think I have 3 letters. It's TBD.
No,
Yep.
it's off the timeline. It's not even
It's off
TBD.
the.
It's off
So
the timeline.
what I think what they're doing is they made a mistake with how they handled it from the beginning. That showrunners, I guess, that didn't really care about the character in the first place, and that was the issue. And I'll say this:
Yeah.
I feel like Marvel is slowly, and this is going to sound crazy because I've been hypercritical of them as of late. I think that Marvel is slowly trying to right the ship and get back to what made people fall in love with them in the beginning. Because for a while they were trying to check off every box and please everybody, besides for the fans, what made them dope in the beginning. I feel that what they're going to do is they're going to do the whole ensemble thing. They're going to do the Midnight Suns makes sense. You bring in your Ghost Rider, you bring in Blade, you bring in Swamp Thing, Man Thing, whatever it is. You have Doctor Strange as the catalyst leader for people to get excited as a character that they know. And I think you do that. I think once we do that, it's we MCU's already dabbled into the R rating with the Deadpool. They're talking about Daredevil is going to be more mature themed. And I think they're going to do a Midnight Suns. I feel like Midnight Suns is you do Midnight Suns, then you could go ahead. Now we're going to do the Blade Solo. We're going to do the Ghost Rider. We're going to do this. I mean, Ghost Rider is going to be a hit regardless if they get that right. So I feel like they're going to count their losses. Let's start over. We'll do Midnight Suns. We make an ensemble story, and I think that's what they're going to go with.
I think that is so right it can't possibly happen.
Okay.
That is so right. It makes so much sense what you just said. That's why it probably will never happen.
That's fair.
One of the things that what's his name, Ryan Reynolds has been pushing for is to give Blade the same type of send off that Hugh Jackman got for his Wolverine in Logan. What do you guys feel about that? Is it cool to bring Wesley Snipes back for a send off film before they reboot the character, or are we just done with this?
But is it a send off that's going to happen before the Deadpool film? Or does it take place after? I mean, because I'm tired of multiverses. I'm tired of these timelines. I'm tired.
They're going to reboot it. To do your Midnight Suns film, are we talking about having a new Blade do that or Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, but I think you have. I want to see Wesley, but guess what? You got to go with the new one because we're in this particular piece. I feel like here's my thing about the Deadpool movies. I know everybody loves them. They're too silly for me, and there's too many liberties that are taken. And I never feel like Deadpool's in any danger. Or they're just I would have rather seen, and don't get it twisted. I was excited when Wesley came across the screen, but I would have rather seen him in an MCU type situation. I could be wrong.
I like Pericles straight trolling, man. What's Sticky Fingers doing right now? We don't recognize. Do we recognize Sticky Fingers as Blade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He played Blade pretty good. He was all right.
I mean, it gets panned, but I don't know why. I thought the Blade television series was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I think they could have gave it another season. It was weird how it ended, but to answer your question, it was nice to see Wesley, but unless they're doing an old man Blade, I have no interest.
That's the idea. Ryan Reynolds is like, we should do an old man Blade like they did Logan. Logan was an old man Wolverine. Should Blade get an old man old man Blade movie that's his send off? They kill him or whatever they do.
Well,
and then
the problem would be, here's the problem with it. The problem would be how much martial arts could he do at this point? Because you don't want it to be goofy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Wesley Snipes is a martial artist, and he probably prides himself on his ability to do martial arts, but he can't do what he did back in what was that?
30 years ago.
Yeah. So you're not going to get that. So he would have to rely a lot on stuntmen and that kind of thing to do those type things for it to quote unquote make sense, in my opinion. Now, as far as Blade goes, the Midnight Suns thing, that would be kind of cool if that's what they're going to do. I would be okay with that. However, you've been promising us this movie for the longest. You finally recognize that, you know what, our process handling this character and this actor has been trash. So we're just going to take it all the way off the docket. And basically what they did was they freed up Mahershala Ali to go and do other projects until they get their stuff together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he probably still wants to do it, but he's probably looking at them, real goofy. It's like, of all the characters that should be easy to write and do, this is a no-brainer.
Right.
So for them to have problems, go ahead.
I was going to say to what you just said, particularly when you got Brian Edward Hill writing a script for Blade every month in these books that he's doing. Mm-hmm. Those are like it's a mini movie.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's the difference. Marvel Studios is running the show, not Marvel Comics. And again, I don't think that Brian Hill is really getting a lot of direction from Marvel. I think he's writing a dope story because he's literally doing what he wants to do for the character. I don't see Marvel's fingers on the Blade book at all. You know what I'm saying? You know how you look at certain things with them, like, you know what? That's a nod. That's a nod to this or that, the third. I just don't see that. So for me, they can't. And I'll be honest with you, I'm done. And I've said this. I'm done with the MCU. Yeah. I do not care about the MCU. I don't care about Secret Wars. I don't care about the Doom War, whatever, Doomsday, or whatever it is that they're gonna do. I'm gonna go see the movies. But I literally have no care about the MCU at all. They have messed this up so bad to where it's like, okay, if they get it right, fine. But am I going to go to the theater and expect to be thrilled and all that? No.
I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? Big cup of popcorn and soda water, as you say.
I mean, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sneak in. I'm gonna sneak in a 2-piece, with a couple. I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? That's mandatory. But I'm just not really into what it is that they're doing. Right. They didn't do any. They didn't announce anything. At New York Comic Con that was just like, oh, wait, great. The only thing we got out of New York Comic Con that was quote unquote newsworthy was, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna cancel Moon Girl. And not that I care or whatever, but if somebody like yourself, Paul, has a daughter who likes Moon Girl, they got nothing to watch now. They got to rewatch what they've done. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they just couldn't do another season or whatever. I don't know, but nothing really, ranks when it comes to. I mean, it's just such a mess. I want them to reboot it and restart, hit the reset button and all that good stuff. Now, I am intrigued for the Fantastic Four movie. But I'll be honest, this third time is a charm. This will be the third time that they've attempted to do a Fantastic Four. If they fail at this, just make the Fantastic Four animation and leave it alone.
Right.
So, I just do not have any confidence in Marvel Studios. That is waned a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? For me, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward. Don't think I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to the Daredevil Born Again series.
Right. As long as they don't mess that up. As long as they don't mess that up.
Long as that's that part, Phil. Long as they don't mess that up. But something tells me
I don't want the Daredevil that was in She-Hulk. That was ridiculous.
Hopefully they tell, hopefully they tell the story from the comics. If they tell that story, it should be fire.
Right.
But who knows, man? I just don't have any confidence. I'm like, bring James Gunn stuff on. That's what I'm interested in at this point.
Wow.
I don't want to.
That was crazy. The James Gunn statement was crazy.
I mean, look, see, here's the thing, Phil. We have had 10 years of excellence.
For sure.
Then it went off a cliff. They tried to sell us on Ant-Man, Quantumania. They tried to sell us on Thor. What was the last? Thor, Love and Thunder. They tried to sell us on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Wait.
I
was great.
It was cool for what it was, but nobody's going to mistake that as being something just.
No,
you gotta see it. You gotta watch it. No,
you're crazy. I disagree with you on that one, but I got you on that one. Keep going. You can add 4 more movies.
I was just gonna say though. I mean, ain't y'all tired of looking at that white woman, Scarlet Witch? Ain't y'all tired of looking at her?
Yeah, that's why she died.
It's a great story. It's a great. Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? They have not done anything. They haven't done anything really outside of that. What's the last good Marvel movie other than maybe the Deadpool Wolverine, which I know you don't really too much care for, but what's the last good movie that they had?
Doctor Strange.
And how long ago that was?
No, I'm agreeing with you. The Marvel was ridiculously terrible.
That's been a minute. So, and then shout out to all the Black Panther fans.
Man, don't start. You
I gotta say it, Phil.
What's the damn disclaimer?
Marvel is the only company. Marvel is the only company that literally gathered hundreds of thousands of Black people to trauma bond over a 2.5-hour movie.
Funeral service.
2 funerals. We literally, that's what that was. That was trauma bonding.
It was a $2.5 billion. How much did they spend on the movie?
Failure.
$270 million.
I like it.
I liked it too, Angel. But I mean, it was a good movie. I just didn't like it.
I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good, man. I didn't like it at all. I'm not gonna play with y'all on this one.
But like this, I will say it like this, Phil. Just take Black Panther. Just take the Black Panther mantle off of it, or the title off of it, and just watch it. But just kind of like what it. You see this chick. Her name just happened to be Shuri, right? And she.
Rich. Let me say this. I know, Rich, since you started, you know, I go on a tangent about this film. I think Coogler is a very good director. I think he's a great director. I just don't think he's a good superhero director. That's just my opinion. My issue with the film is the action scenes were whack. Besides for the fight on the bridge, the scenes where the town's being flooded looked like they were at Disneyland. It looked like they were at SeaWorld. I was waiting for Shamu to jump out and shit. I'm like, man, there was no tension. There's no tension in the film. For me, and the thing is, I was supposed to drive to Memphis the day before. I said, nope, I'm not missing this. I'm not going to be driving down for 13 hours wondering what's happening. I postponed my trip for a day for homecoming, cuz, to watch this. And I sat in the car, I drove after the movie. I was so hot. I was steaming in the car. I'm like, I can't believe I waited all this time to see this bullshit. Like, I was mad. And Submariner doesn't even say Imperious Rex to the end. Then he says it in a foreign language, and he says it like what?
Yeah.
Man, listen.
It was.
I got one more. I got one more, Rich, and I'm done. We're being honest, and y'all can call me whatever you want to call me. My exhibit is called Collections in Blacks. I have nothing against Black folks. I'm pro this, etc. So let's not go there. But we can get so busy trying to tell this particular narrative that it doesn't suit the story. T'Challa was an Avenger. T'Challa was an Avenger. We didn't have not one Avenger show up to his funeral, right? Which is ridiculous. And another thing, this guy All of a sudden he's sick, and we both said weeks before, I did not want to see Chadwick Boseman's funeral on screen. This is what this was. This is all it was. No, I'm starting, man. We growing. It's late. If you on, this is like BT Uncut. This is Black Comics Little Uncut.
BT Uncut.
So listen. Here's my thing. Let me ask you this. As and we talk about critiquing, and we talk about critiquing the indie. We talking about everybody gets critiqued. Some people don't like me, but that doesn't mean they ain't got good taste. But let me say this. You mean to tell me that T'Challa knows he has a son, right? But he don't want, remember that piece. So you mean to tell me he got a son, he don't tell nobody about his son. He don't tell nobody about his son. And he's sick. He don't tell nobody he's sick. So you also got, besides for Wakanda technology, at your disposal, you have wizards, witches, gods, some of the most intelligent people in you got Stark technology, you got Bruce Banner, you got all these things that can help you to save your life. You can get frozen like y'all froze the Winter Soldier, but instead you ain't gonna tell nobody for whatever reason. And you got a son. I took offense to that as a father because let me tell you something. If you ain't got nothing else to live for, you can live for your children.
Right.
Somebody tell me where I'm wrong. And
no, you're not wrong at all.
You put this mess in there. That's crazy, man. Because if a white writer or director would have done that, y'all would have burnt that shit down.
Well, you know, it is what it is. I mean, look.
Wait. I just want you to tell me I'm wrong.
No.
Not a single lie was told.
That's crazy, man.
But
that's
again,
crazy.
But here's the thing about that.
They show insanity. They show insanity. We're supposed to be like, oh, look at the little black boy. I'm whatever the hell. See, I don't give a shit. They're gonna say who he is. We all like, oh, well, I'm thinking to myself, this brother, we could have fought for this. We black, man. No, I'm just saying, man, this is real.
Bro, let me ask you something. Let me say this. It's but see, what happened in this particular while all that you said was true, no lies were told. Here's the thing. When you are mourning,
ain't no thing, Rich.
I'm just offering. I'm just offering. I'm not claiming this. I'm just offering why I'm just saying this is perhaps why he did what he did. He was grieving.
Everything you're about to say is
because he was grieving. He had all of these blind spots.
I'm not debating that, man.
DJ Phil, think about this for a second. Think about this for a second. You can relate to this. Everybody that's black in the hood, everybody can relate to this. When someone in your family passes away, what's the number one thing that they normally do? In whether it's your family, your friends, whatever. What is they normally do? What's the first thing they normally usually do?
Call somebody.
Throw themselves at the coffin.
Huh?
Throw themselves at the coffin.
No, they generally they come see you and they bring food.
Yeah.
And the reason why they bring food is because they know.
I ain't listening to this, man.
Hold on.
I ain't coming for this.
You're in a state of grief, and you're not going to do what you should do. You're going to wrestle with your grief, and you're going to neglect yourself and everything around you. And so people come over, they bring you food, they spend time with you, whatever, they check up on you and that kind of thing. So all I'm saying is that this dude did what he did because he was processing his grief.
Okay.
He didn't have someone logical like you, Phil.
Yes, he did.
Saying, hey, bro, you shouldn't do that. You should do this. Don't do that. Do this. He didn't have nobody logical in his ear.
So I feel you, but let me say this one more time, and I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna give you another reason why. When the first one came out, we talked about how important it is to have this black character that these kids had never seen. We took these little black kids on school buses. We took them on church buses. We had think tanks. We had all type. We had little white kids going Wakanda forever at Disney. We did everything in the world. We had Obama talking about it. We did Saturday Night Live skits. This is the best thing. This is what black people need to see. This is what we need to see. And we kill them on the second movie. Come on, man. Come on, man. No. So not we right, because I didn't. So here's the thing. We made the selling point of Black Panther, let's keep it 100, was the importance of young black men being able to see a superhero that looks like them. Tell me I'm not right. Tell me I'm not lying. So you mean to tell me it was that important, but not important to continue the legacy?
Bro, you have not said one line. Everything you said is true.
Continue the legacy, but continue the legacy by having T'Challa have a kid out of wedlock, a bastard, and leave his woman. Come on, man.
You know, shout out to the chat. This show tonight has had everything.
I'm gonna pay my side chick. I'm gonna pay my baby mama a side chick some money and stick her in
right, and I set him up on the island. I set him up on the island away from everybody. So it's not me being whatever, but if we're gonna be, but here's my thing. All jokes aside, when we talk, we can't sit back and we talk about the powerful messages and representation. That's the wrong representation of who we are as black men. Let's keep it 100. You the king of Wakanda.
Yes, sir.
You're not just a king to your people. You're king to your family first. I got a grandbaby. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from making sure my grandbaby's straight. And part of that means I gotta do what I gotta do to be here.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, if you're gonna do that, I need you to put that in a different way, in a context that you're not abandoning your child.
Right.
That's not T'Challa. And you mean to tell me, well, we're not gonna deal with the white characters who could possibly save us with this Asgardian technology. Matter of fact, we're not even gonna freeze this, brother. We freeze the Winter Soldier, and the Winter Soldier killed everybody. He was a terrorist. But we're gonna freeze him, but we're not gonna freeze our own. Come on, man.
He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be a popsicle, bro. I'm just he want to be a fudsicle.
And then it made it funny. Let me tell you what the funny thing about the Winter Soldier. You know what always made me crack up about the Winter Soldier? was at the end of a Black Panther, they had the brother baling hay like he was picking cotton, like they went to go get him. I said, man, y'all funny as hell. They went to go get him. He had the one little arm. That was like, man, we finally need you.
They're like, Bucky, come on, we need you. But
they got listen. They got the white boy bailing hay, the most technology thing. He out there picking. He one-handed picking up bills. That's crazy.
That's the colonizer job in Wakanda, man. That's how they do it.
Hey, man, go ahead and get that. But
all I'm gonna say is look, it is what it is. For them to right the ship, they gotta recast the character. We already know that. But to me, that's the most. To me, I'm done with the MCU until really they do that. I'm gonna go watch movies and that kind of thing or whatever. But I'm really not vested in the MCU until they bring that character back. When they recast him finally, then I'll be excited to see where it goes, and I'll be willing to have a conversation about, well, they need to do this or they should do that. Because here's the thing. And I ask you this here, Paul, when they bring him back, when they do recast the character, what story do you think they're going to tell?
What story they're going to take to bring him back?
No, what story are they going to tell when they bring him back?
He's not going to be the same one, though. It's going to be from an incursion.
If they're doing it from the incursion, from Secret Wars, and they reboot the entire thing, I want them to start all the way from scratch, go all the way back to the beginning. I want Jungle Act. I want Fantastic Four 52.
They're not doing that.
Now, let me ask you this: Is it possible that he may show up in Fantastic Four? Because they're going back to the 60s. It's supposed to be a 60s theme type movie.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what, Rich? I'm going to say no, but you might be on. I never thought of that because what if it's a situation where he's actually with them and comes up here or whatever? Like that could be. That could be.
I hear what you're saying, Rich, but I can't believe that because that would give me too much hope, and I don't want my hope to be dashed.
Just like my midnight sun theory.
I'm still burned on how Dr. Voodoo did not show up in Multiverse of Madness.
Boy,
I already explained that.
Yeah, man, we passed that, man. We ain't worried about anybody worry about that but you.
You know what? It's time to go. It's time to go. It is time to go. This show tonight has had everything.
He just brought up something nobody thinking about. He said, "Man, so how come we didn't get Quicksilver? Man, go, man. Nobody asked. Boy, listen, let me tell you something.
Now, here's the thing. So let me ask you this, Phil. Let me ask you this. Next movie on the docket is Captain America.
So I'll say this. I know some things behind the scenes from that movie when I met with certain people a year ago. And so I'm just going to be quiet because I
see, you keep opening this can of worms and then putting your hand over the open jar, and that's not fair.
So I'll say this. This movie's been done. Been done. There's actually probably like 2-3 versions by now.
Wow.
The whole Serpent Society or whatever. I think there's a whole entire film with that in there. I know somebody that worked on the film, but they actually worked on another film and he did all the effects on. And I had a conversation with him and I just asked him, and this was before the Red Hulk announcement and all this other type of stuff. And we had a deep conversation about it. And I asked this person about the film. I'm not saying who it is, so I'm not throwing him under the bus or anything like that. And like super legitimate, and he just gave me this look like, and this is before the tester. So, and I think the problem was when you go into a movie and you start to make all these different changes.
Yep, you didn't have a good movie.
It's you don't have a good movie, but then also it could be sometimes you may have had a good movie, but you come in and you're like when I watch these movies and the movies are done, and they're like, hey, we just casted such and such as whomever. The movie come out in 3 months. How you just cast somebody when the movie's shot, edited, scored, and now you're in promotions? I mean, because remember, like over a year ago, they were already set to put out the Captain America, Falcon, McDonald's toys. They were already done. Then you bring what's his name in, and now it's just I don't know what they're going to do. I just don't want to see, like, for instance, Winter Soldier is one of my favorite characters within MCU, and I was so hyped for the Falcon Winter Soldier series. But when I heard that they had cut so much out and they did all this cut and paste, I just that series, what we saw is not what the original series was, because it was about dealing with what chemical warfare, and then COVID came out, so they cut so much stuff. And I'm just worried that with the Captain America film, I'm sure there's going to be really dope scenes. I'm sure there's going to be some really dope stuff. But I'm just worried that, they may have changed too much. And they said when they did the screening for it, that it just did not test well whatsoever. Like, people were just like, ooh. But
my question about that is, first of all, it's Black Captain America, okay? And this is an original character that they made a legacy character.
Mm-hmm.
So should we invest and should we even care about this character?
Nope. It's temporary representation. As soon as they are ready to reboot the universe, Steve Rogers will be back in a different actor.
Well,
don't get emotionally invested.
Steve Rogers is coming back in the Doctor Doom movie as Captain Hydra, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Bro, they can't. Let me tell you something. They cannot let that come out, bro. I cannot see if they make Captain America Hydra, if they do that line, that story, I am definitely done.
Yeah. I think it's going to be with I think Dr. Doom is going to have a whole series of some of these other characters, and they'll be like the evil doppelgangers version. It's going. I don't know.
Gotcha.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand. So
Man, you know what, Angel, you said it right. It's just messy. I want Captain America in the new movie to be good. I think the Thunderbolts actually looks good. I don't know how they're gonna fight Sentry because he could beat them all within 2 seconds. It doesn't make any sense.
they're gonna try. They're gonna give it a try.
What's Black Widow gonna do? She gonna like jump on his neck and do the little spin thing? Like I'm like, y'all ain't got one powered hero in there. Y'all gonna fight Sentry?
Yeah,
okay.
That is kind of crazy when you think about it.
They revealed in the comic books that Black Widow did get the serum though, because
what is that gonna do? This is Sentry. Sentry's like a Superman level.
I know. I'm just saying.
He's Marvel Superman, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yes. He's Marvel Superman.
Who wins in a fight, Captain America or Superman?
Depends on who's writing. Depends on who's writing.
What?
I don't think in any writer.
Listen, Rodney Barnes is my favorite writer, but even I tell Rodney to his face, bro, you cannot let Superman lose in that.
I mean, Superman lost the Batman.
Unless he got a chain of kryptonite that hung around his neck, it's a wrap, bro.
Man.
All right.
Super Soldier Serum, I don't know.
It is late. I am tired. I have to go to work in the morning.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to thank everyone who watched this live with us. Thank all of y'all who've been rocking with us from day one. Thank all y'all who have just joined us. Please like this video. Like the video if you like what we're doing. Show us some love by doing that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to us. And share the video across your social medias. Until next time, we have been the Black Comic Lords. Shout out to Big Phil for dropping by. Appreciate you, bro. You're invited anytime. Well, you don't have to be invited. You put yourself on. Come back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. So, Dr. Wizard, Black Comic Lords, we got you.
Peace.